everybody? Welcome to our NBA season preview. We got Raymond Lyons, Cardo Dudley Jr., I'm Wilson Tarpet Jr., and looking forward to getting through this, man. Like, literally, we kind of officially kick off the NBA season, and I want to say within the next 10 to 12 hours with a 6 a.m. wake up call to watch the Wizards take on the Warriors in Japan. Looking forward to the game. Probably not the time that I have to set my alarm. That said, we're going to go through this division by division. I'm going to ask these two gentlemen here just to share their thoughts on each team as we break down. Obviously, rosters, things that come to mind as we think about their chances for the year, what have you, whatever comes to mind. Then one interesting caveat we'll have is just players we expect to take a leap. So that's going to be interesting because it can range from, superstars or stars of said teams to folks trying to get into the rotation, or just rotation players expected to take a little bit of a jump forward. That said, we're going to start with one of the most popular teams in the NBA right now for not too many basketball reasons in the Atlantic Division, the Boston Celtics. So, who wants to start?
Oh boy, I guess I'll go ahead and take the lead, man. It's a lot of noise around this team for obvious reasons, and it's going to be a great test. Now, not just for their leaders on the court, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, whatnot, but even for the interim, the head coach Joe Mazzulla, man. I mean, I'm sure these are not the circumstances he envisioned getting his first coaching job as a head coach, but it is what it is, man. Sometimes you just gotta be ready when it comes. You know what I mean? So, but with that being said, I think they'll be able to handle it because they showed that last year. People forget, even though they made the finals the first half of last year, they were struggling greatly. It was even talks of trading Jaylen Brown, the whole nine before they even got going. Then they hit their stride in about the middle of the season. In January, they hit their stride, and the beginning of this stride was obviously here in DC. You saw Jason Tatum go off, 51-point game, and you could just kind of see that things were changing, and that catapulted them to the run that they had. Look, they know it's a spotlight on them. They know it's at stake. I feel they're hungry to get back to the finals. And I think they'll buckle down and do what they need to do, especially with that addition of Malcolm Brogdon and those guys. What will hurt them out the gate is Rod Williams, recovering from the surgery. And that presence, man, because even though the Warriors beat him, he's a presence inside. I'm not gonna get too deep in the Rod Williams situation. It still hurts, but every time it hurts. But hey, look, he's a defensive force, man. And it's not just rim protection, guarding bigs, man. When he hedges out, he get on guards, he makes them work as well. So you really don't have to, as another guard, when you have to switch or whatnot, you don't have to cheato to help your big. He stays with them. And he was a force on one leg. So that just tells you where he is. But the main thing is for him to get healthy. Al Horford balled. I feel he's going to hold it down, until he gets back. Grant Williams, I expect him to develop, what I'm saying? Look, he made strides being a strong defender, hitting corner threes. He was the difference in that Milwaukee series for them. You know what I mean? And he kind of, they started paying attention to him more, and they kind of shut his water off for the rest of the playoffs. So I'm pretty sure this summer he was working on making sure that don't happen. But all in all, I expect them to still be there then, barring any major injuries or whatever. They're just too deep. I feel like they're hungry to get back because, no one wants to lose on the biggest stage. That hurts. You don't want to just go out like that. Getting back is not promised. I feel like they have the young core and experience now from top to bottom, having gone through the experience to know how to buckle down, deal with adversity, and make it strong right now. The East is stronger, which we will get to throughout this show. But I feel like at the end of the day, they'll be right there.
All right, what's going on, Anthony? Tony, happy to see you back. And like you said, we are back at it tomorrow. Appreciate you checking in with us already this early. All right, Ray, what you got to say about the Celtics, sir?
Yeah, man, I'm pretty much in the same place as Cardell. Of course, everybody hears the noise from from what's going on with their current situation. But these guys are professionals, man. I think they'll be able to navigate this. They do have an interim coach, Joe Mazzulla, but he's in a good spot, man. They got a talented roster. They got two studs. So that's that definitely is going to help the situation. Yeah, Rob Williams is going being out is going to hurt them to start the season, but I mean we saw last year that Horford still got something in the tank. So if if they weather that in a positive way, then when he gets back, that'll just give them another jolt of energy, man. So teams better jump on them when they can, if they can, with Rob Williams gone, because when he gets back, it's it's going they're going to be that much harder to deal with. Adding Brogdon was big for them. In the finals, we saw a lot of bad decision making and turnovers that basically cost them the series. Just having another short-handed guard out there to kind of manage those situations, it's definitely going to be a plus for them. And like Ardell said, man, they're hungry to get back to the finals. They were there last year, but Golden State's experience and just kind of got them out the way. And then Wiggins taking the leap that he took, it just wasn't the Celtics time, man. But yeah, I think showing they got the fortitude for it. They were below 500 in January last year, and they ended up in the finals. So it's a battle tested team, man. Especially Tatum and Brown were a game away from the finals when they were super young. So they're young, but they're older than what their age would lend to in basketball years, because they seen some stuff in the short time they've been in the league. So I'm not too worried about them, man. They know what's at stake. They know what to do, and I think they're gonna handle business.
All right, that said, who do you expect to take a leap off of the Boston Celtics this year?
One more thing off that. One thing they hang their head on, defense. Number one in the league. So you can always hang on that if things get rough offensively till they find that chemistry. But for Boston, the player I'm looking at to take the lead is Grant Williams. Putting the ball on the floor, not just being kind of like a 3 and D guy, being able to make plays off the bounce and create more, and to keep the defense off balance. Because when he can finish as well. You know what I mean? It might be just him off the move, or setting a pick and slip it to the rim or whatnot, or cutting back door. He you know he showed he could do that throughout the season. You know what I mean? But I think he just in the playoffs, once he had that big game against the Bucks, I think he kind of fell in love too much with the three. But I think just improving his ball handling so he could be a threat. Look, obviously they're not going to look at him to put in work like Tatum and Brown, but if the defense knows he's a threat to do that, it creates more opportunity, more space for Brown and Tatum, guys that can do what they need to do. Even the guards of Brogdon, Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, all those guys coming off the bench. So I'm looking at him, man, because if he can add more to his game outside the defense and the 3-point shooting, that changes a lot. Because we saw he can guard pretty much 2 through 4. You know what I mean? So that's a valuable addition. You can keep him on the floor, different lineups and longer.
Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Grant Williams as well. Just if he becomes more versatile, so to speak, that would definitely add another dimension to the Celtics. The 3 and D role is nice, but at a certain time, you're going to have to do a little bit more. Because especially when teams catch on to that, it's you got to have a little bit more tools in your toolbox. So if he's able to improve in that way, then that Boston's just going to be that much more hell to deal with.
All right, like we said, we're just gonna take turns with who leads the breakdowns. Gonna move on to Brooklyn here. So Ray, as we continue our way through the Atlantic Division, another popular team off the court.
Man, I don't. It ain't too much talking to do about this team, man. It's put up or shut up time for them. The drama that's been surrounding them since this version of them has formed. It's honestly just been exhausting, man. They just need to handle business on the court. Like I'm not interested in nothing they have to say. But Joe Harris, he'll be back, so that'll help. Of course, you got KD and Kyrie. We pretty much know what they're capable of. It's no mandate standing in the way this season, so we should see more of Kyrie. KD, his health has been an issue in recent years. So hopefully he's able to stay on the floor more frequently. Ben Simmons, man, he's pretty much their X factor. They didn't have him last year on the court after they traded for him, but seeing what they'll look like with him on the floor is going to be interesting, man, because he has just a whole nother dimension to this team, what he can do on both sides of the basketball. And he's got a bullseye on him, man. Like he's heard all the criticisms, justified or not, but the talk is there, and it's only one way to silence all that. So yeah, man, it's not much analysis with them for me, man. They got the talent, man. They just gotta do what they need to do, man. They can't afford another flame out because people won't have to delete their social media. Like it's gonna be bad. But but even with all the noise, people know what they're capable of on the court. So it's not gonna they definitely not an easy out. They're one of the top teams in the league. They just gotta handle business.
I'm kind of in the same boat with Ray. It's just too much noise for them. It's just too much noise. If they keep the main thing, they will be right there. Then trust me, like Eastern Conference, it's no reason why they shouldn't be. You know what I mean? What's beating them is themselves. Let's just call it what it is. Just too much other things. And I don't care how talented you are, it's a team sport. So when there's other things always seeping in, this, that, it takes away from the main thing. And then next thing you know, you look up and you're getting swept because you're not ready for a team that's locked in and cohesive and firing on all cylinders, man. You can't beat a team like that. I don't care how talented you are. You can't beat a team when you have so much going on from within. It will never happen, man. All the smoke. Chauncey Billups was on there recently. He was talking about the 04 finals. And yeah, the Lakers had the more talent, which he admitted. But he said they came in confident that they could win because they felt they had the better team. They were together. And that's just what it is, man, for them, man. Look, that 2 stars they got to lead. They got to keep the main thing. Everybody else will follow. But they got to keep the main thing. And yeah, you look at Ben Simmons, he got a lot of questions to answer as well. I know Kevin can give me 37-7, 50, 40, 90. I know Kyrie can give me 25, 5 and 5, 50, 40, 90. I know those brothers, like when they locked in, we know what they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? But they need other guys to come along. And Ben is the guy. You know what I'm saying? Because what people are not looking at that they had kind of last year a little bit better was they had more inside depth. You know what I'm saying? Blake is not there no more. Aldridge is gone. So now it's just Claxton and Day'Ron Sharp, so to speak, that were there from last year. That's a young front line, and they're not the bangers, so to speak, to deal with the Giannis's and Embiid's of the world. You know what I mean? So Ben Simmons is going to have to hoop because he's going to have to go down there. He's going to have to go down there. And Kevin and Stretches, like they're going to have to go down there unless they, it's bigs on the market. You can get Dwight Howard or the Boogie Cousins, and they may go get one of those brothers. You know what I'm saying? Blake is still out there right now, so they may go get them. Then they're just trying to see what the youngins do right away. But yeah, you're gonna have to deal with that, man. You know what I'm saying? But we all know the talent wise, if they're locked in, oh, they hell. It's just that's 2 dudes that can average 30 right there. And then you got young boy Cam Thomas. I know he always ready to get a bucket. He been that way since high school. So, Joe Harris returns. That's your sniper. That's another guy off the bench that can, put points on the board, man. Just play ball, man. Just do what they do. And they'll be right there, man. And then once they once they get a few wins under their belt and get going and just kind of get further and further away from the noise as the season progresses, I can see them gaining steam and being a monster as the playoffs roll around.
Yeah, I'm with both of you guys on that. If basketball is the most important thing to the Nets as a whole, hey, we should see what most people see when you look at that roster, and we see what we seen in stretches back in Philly when JoJo was out for the Sixers, what a Ben supercharged lineup looked like. And no disrespect to that current version of the Sixers where it was like him and Bellinelli and JJ Redick and things like that. That wasn't Kevin and Kyrie running alongside him. Like Cardell said, basketball stays a priority. Like that's a lot to deal with. Ben brings so many things to the table, and I know everybody. If people aren't averaging 19 points a game, it's like it doesn't matter in life. But the other things that he does bring, he does at a very high level. It should be fun. I'm very interested in those young bigs. I'm kind of counting Claxton as that. I forget. I know that he's not young, but him and Sharp, heavy duty this year. Those two along with Ben. Go ahead, Carter.
And Marquise Morris.
Oh yeah, and Marquise. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So
definitely what I would.
We saw him for years here in DC, man. We know what he could do, score from all three levels. Tough, Terry guy. Yeah, so he's somebody that they can lean on to be reliable as well, man. You know what I'm saying? But still they still want. I mean, it's not like you can get one guy to deal with them.
Yeah.
But it's still tough. You're not getting out the East if you don't have somebody that can at least get back at the Bams and the Giannis's and Embiid's, man. It is what it is. It's gonna be tough. You know what I'm saying? But lucky for them, they got so much firepower. They're like, y'all gotta deal with us on the perimeter. You know what I'm saying too. So, and that's what's always when you even with the drama, you like
yeah.
A regular team, it's a wrap. They could get hot. Murder everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like just get hot, murder anybody.
And the added caveat, not to cut you off, is one of the issues they had against the Boston last year was one of their two scorers had to bring the ball up. If Ben's healthy, that's something where both of them off ball. That's another thing you got to deal with a little bit too. So it should be interesting, man, for sure.
And you like you said with Ben. I people getting on Steve Nash because Steve Nash like I'm not worried about him shooting and stuff. And if you look at the full quote, he's saying, "Look, if he come out shooting jumpers, clearly we'll be happy with that. It's not like nah, dog, don't shoot no more jumpers. No coach would say that, but he's saying I'm not relying on it because I'm looking for him to do other things. Basically, what he's saying is we got other guys that love to shoot and can shoot at the best level. That's not really a big need, but he can still score. And one thing he could do, he can get in Mark Jackson mode, put them little guards on the block, and it's a wrap. You got to send a double, and you send a double with Kevin and Kyrie. I mean, look, like they can go a lineup with Cam Thomas, Joe Harris, Kyrie, and KD. Like that's firepower. That's a lot of space, dog. So and he down there on the block, like in a sense, he's Magic Johnson. He just on the block. What you gonna do? Like I'm gonna either score. Your point guard's gonna have to foul me, send me to the free throw line, and he gonna foul out, or you just gonna we gonna torch y'all. What's it gonna be? So it's gonna be fun because this team has a lot of versatile pieces, man, and it's gonna be fun to see them play, man. But like I said, man, just play basketball, keep basketball the primary focus, and they'll be fine.
And as we get off the Nets, who do you guys have taking the lead this year?
I'm looking at Nick Claxton, man. Because they gonna need him to produce with that front line, and I think he's capable. He's he can protect the rim. He's athletic. He just needs to be a little bit more disciplined and just be tougher down there. Especially when they go up against those guys Cardell mentioned, like Giannis and Embiid and all them. He's going to have ample opportunities. And it's just on him to deliver. And if he does step up to the plate, then the Nets gonna be scary, man. They're gonna be scary regardless. But if Claxton performs the way they need him to, then that just adds another dimension to them.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm a little more to Cam Thomas, who I always called a professional scorer since he came out the womb. And for all these reasons, Ben, like Ben gonna have to get some rest at times, and Kyrie's gonna have to get some rest at times. Um, it's gonna be time. Look, we're not expecting Kyrie and those guys to play every game. That's just the reality. They're gonna low manage my guys to keep them healthy, especially Kevin and Kyrie. That's when Cam gonna have to do his thing. You know what I mean? And not just his thing scoring. I could see him trying to take the leap as far as running the team and spurts. You know what I mean? So and getting better defensively. Like let's call it what it is. He young, so you give him a pass. He young. He got to learn, but he was food. And that's the other thing. Like if you off and you food, can't play you. So that's just what it is with him. But I'm expecting him to make a leap and kind of balance being a combo guard, being a point, and also doing what he does, putting the ball in the hole.
Again, like you guys said, just yet another weapon to a team that already has too much damn firepower on the offensive end of the floor. Staying in New York, moving on to the Knicks.
Mm. Oh, Jesus. So much drama across the league, man. There's so much drama, man. Oh, boy. I don't even know where to begin with this. Look, they have talent, man. They got talent to. They should have been in the play. Look, they got talent to be in the playoffs. It's definitely with the play in the situation. They definitely have the talent to be there, but guys got to buy into their roles, man. That's the biggest problem I see with this team. Look, RJ's talent. Loved him since high school. Julius is a bull. Um, look, I like eating Jalen Brunson's a beautiful addition. Winner. The thing is, he got to prove he's kind of at the stage now where you got the big contract. You got to prove that you really truly deserve that moving forward. Like it's cool you did enough to get it, but you got to still maintain that level. You know what I'm saying? And New York it's a pressure cooker, man. It is what it is. You don't get a couple of L's and like, here we go. Why we pay this guy? They gonna be on his head. It's just, and he knows that, man. It is what it is. You got quickly Obi Toppin, Derrick Rose come out, Evan Fournier, man. Look, man, I like. I, they got enough talent to get in the playoffs, man. But guys gotta just be them and stay in their roles, man. At times you could just see last year they were trying to go through Julius and stuff like that, and then it's sometimes it's like the guys ain't get certain shots, then I'm gonna go get mine. It's my turn. Then Julius was pressing at times, frustrated when the wins and New York booing and stuff like that. You can't worry about that, man. You got hoop. You know what I'm saying? And for them, I know knowing Tibbs starts defensively. You know what I mean? It definitely starts defensively. So if they're able to do that and handle things defensively, I think it would help cater to their offense because there won't be so much pressure on them to score. At times they were up and down last year defensively. So even though they were six and points allowed or whatnot, they were I think the year before they were a top 5 overall on defense. They were strapping the year before when they made the playoffs, man. They got to maintain that. And yeah, and just that, man. Just be them. Even Julius, like he should be an all-star year in, year out in the East. He should be. And don't settle for all the jumpers and stuff. Um, take what the defense give you. Stop pressing. Stop forcing things. And I think they'll be fine. You saw Derrick Rose in a media day, and he was just talking about everybody being accountable. And that's kind of what I'm getting to, man. Being accountable for what you're doing instead of pointing fingers and trying to make excuses for when you're not doing things right. Since when in the history of team sports has that ever worked out for any team? It don't work out. So, look, every team had an off season for like the first time in like 3 years. So I think it was a refresher for a lot. That's why you see a lot of guys excited because they ain't had this in a minute. So it was kind of a time to get away. Guys look healthy. We're gonna see how it goes, man. But they have enough talent to be in the playoffs, man. It's just a matter now. Look, if RJ's gonna be kind of a point forward type player, let him be that. Julius, you don't need to be that. Go down there in the half court, do what you do, operate from the low mid post, and destroy these dudes. You know what I'm saying? Mitchell Robinson, look, don't be out there trying to shoot threes like you have in Mobley and stuff like that, dog. No, do your damage inside. They need you to block shots, rim protect, run the floor, and then in the pick and roll situation, you pop out. You got to jump and hit that. It's really not that hard, and I think that's what Tibbs is looking for. If they do that, they'll be in a playoff mix for sure.
Yeah, yeah, they definitely got the talent, but it's the Knicks, man. Something's got to go wrong. That's just the rules. But yeah, no, seriously, I think Jalen Brunson was a good pickup for them. And then and he still got quickly behind him. He played really well last season, and I expect him to get better. If he'll just provide some stability for the second unit. But yeah, man, they're a talented team, man. If you look at their roster, Brunson, Quickly, Obi Toppin, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, like Cardell brought up, Cam Reddish on the bench. They just got to put it together, man. And and they're going to have to defend. Of course, we know their coach's reputation. And if they do that, then they'll be good because guys who defend are going to get the minutes. And if their best guys are playing defense, their best guys are going to get the minutes, and that's obviously going to yield positive results. But they just got to be locked in mentally. Julius coming off a down year, especially given what he did the year before. So he's got to get back to that form. When they made the playoffs, and if he does, great. If they're able to kind of run it through him, without him having to handle the ball as much, then I think that'll benefit him because, man, he's a lot to deal with, when he's able to pick his spots and be efficient. But, if he's forcing like he was last year, then I just think things will start to crumble. But having Brunson there, that's going to give them a steady hand, a guy to kind of direct traffic. And, I think that'll make it easier for guys to kind of just fall into their specific roles. But it's just a question mark with this team, man. If on paper they're a playoff team, but it's a reason why the games are played. They just got to put it together on the court.
All right, the players to take a leap.
Obi Toppin for me. I think his upside. Obviously covering the A-10, I've seen a lot of them. So I know what his talent is, even coming out of college. But I think he's there. I think he's there. If he can start to kind of not become an all-star, even if he does, that's great. But I'm saying like knock on the door that like he averaged nine basically 4 rebounds last year. 53% from the field, 30% from 3. And 75% from the free throw line. If he can get his 3-point percentage up to like say 35, maintain what he's doing from the field, being in the 50% range, that's great for a wing player. Get his rebounding up to like 7, something like that. And then defensively, average like a block or a steal per game. You see what I'm saying? That all around impact. And then average 15 plus a game. That changes a lot of stuff for the Knicks. Because he impacting the game on both ends in a variety of ways, and he has the ability and talent to do that. So I'm looking at him, man, because it's about that time where this is where players like, all right, I've been in the league, I get it now. I know what I need to do. I know how to manage my body. I understand exactly what the coach, the role he wants me to do and everything. It's time for me to go out here and just go to work. You know what I'm saying? So, look, man, 6'9", man, with that athleticism, all that versatility, bro, it's right there. And they need it. And you know what I'm saying? So I expect him to make that leap for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking at Toppin as well, man. For all the reasons Cardell laid out, this dude is just super talented, and the potential is there. He works hard, and I think he wants it. And yeah, man, this is about that time where we kind of see guys in his position kind of start to become who they are. And it's a perfect spot for him, man. So yeah, hopefully he can put it all together. But yeah, the tools are there. It's just up to him.
On to the I'm sorry, not the Raptors. On to the Sixers.
Oh boy,
another fun team. This division is just loaded with storylines. Like it's one of the best divisions thus far. We're gonna get to other divisions. It's gonna be real simple. It's gonna be basketball only. Some teams are gonna be super bleak. And it's gonna go quick. But shout out to the Atlantic Division for nothing but TMZ type activity out off the court. Who's up first for the Philadelphia 76ers?
Anyway,
Oh man, whoo, buddy. Guess I'll start at the top, man. If Embiid can stay on the court and stay in shape, then he's gonna have another MVP level season. We all know what he's capable of. Last year, he played the most games he's ever played in the season in his career, and he was in MVP conversation the entire season. It's not surprising he's talented as hell. One of the best big men in the league. He just has to be available. We talked a lot about guys in Brooklyn having questions to answer. James Harden got some questions to answer, man. His last couple years have been inconsistent to say the least. But he's in a new spot. The excuses should be gone. He's joking about losing weight. I hope he's really in shape because last year he looked bad. And injuries may have had something to do with that. I don't know, but yeah, man, it's time. It's time for him. He's got to regain his form in some way. Even if he doesn't reach that MVP level he was at in Houston, but he's got to be better than he's been. But them picking up PJ Tucker was great because their defense definitely needed some help. It was on the perimeter. It was basically just Matisse, Thybulle, and everybody else getting abused. So yeah, that should definitely help them on that end. Maxey, man, I'm kind of jumping the gun here, but that's the guy I'm looking to take a leap for them. The way he came out last year, he just a whole lot of confidence, man. He took advantage of his opportunity. So I'm just looking for that to continue. Cardell always says you really show who you are when the scouting report catch up. I think the scouting report is going to catch up this year. People know they gotta account for him. So it'll be interesting to see how he responds to that. They picked up Trez. I don't know how that's gonna work out. He brings energy and hustle, gonna give him some toughness, but I mean he's just 15 in 5 seasons, so it might be a reason for that. So but yeah, and they're one of them teams in a precarious position because they're expected to compete for a championship, and it's been that way for a few years, and they've consistently come up short. So it's some pressure on them. They got some expectations to live up to. We'll see how it goes, man. That's another team. They got the tools for the most part. It's gonna be an uphill battle, because of their defensive situation, but they got they got an MVP caliber player on their team, and depending on what version of Harden they get, is going to determine how tough they are.
yeah, James. Well, with James, we gonna get It's a lot on him. You know what I mean? We all know he has never been stout defensively. But it really got bad last year. It was bad because for whatever reason, injury, whatever you want to call it, not being in the best of shape or whatnot, he couldn't even perform offensively. And look, Embiid, I'm not really worried about Embiid no more. He answered a lot of questions. He's durable now. He's been fairly healthy the last couple of years. And look, outside Jokic, man, he was MVP. It was a close race. He's playing at an MVP level. He's fine. It's the other guys around him. Are they gonna come with him? And the question could be asked is, can he do a better job of incorporating them, leading them? Saying when he doing his thing, that's fair too. But I'm not worried about Embiid. I know what I'm gonna get out of him. Is James, man. Is he gonna be? I don't even want him to be Houston James. You know what I'm saying? They need him to just be a guy that hit open shot. They need him to be OKC James, honestly. Let's call it what it is. They need him to be the guy that can slow that, still get in the way defensively, but still hit the threes, be a monster, pick and rolls, and find open shooters. One thing that'll help him is he has a familiar addition with PJ Tucker. Now, PJ Tucker, I feel, will help them greatly because you can put PJ Tucker on whoever the biggest threat. Like if they play the Nets, put him on KD. You know what I'm saying? Not saying he's gonna stop KD, but he can at least make it tougher than a lot of other guys, man. You can put him on Kyrie or Ben or whatnot. And also he's automatic from corner three. So when Harden and he's gonna keep the floor spread. So when Harden pick a roll situation with Embiid and he get downhill, it's gonna be some tough choices to make defensively. You know what I'm saying? And then he could really pick guys apart even more. And also Tyrese Maxey, he over there in the corner as well. So they gonna it's gonna be ample opportunity for Harden to show like, look, last year was just an off year. I'm back to being me. You know what I mean? Because they do have weapons. Tyrese Maxey, see Doc grooming him, not just to be a scorer, but also facilitate as well, be an additional point guard, you know, which he's fully capable of doing. He did it in high school. He did it at times in Kentucky. I expect to see that. And also, want to keep an eye on some young bigs that they had. I know they signed Shreds or whatnot. And he definitely going to add some, you know, grit and experience inside, toughness inside. But, man, you know, keep an eye on Charles Bassey, you know, and those guys, man, and Paul Reed. You know, they've been there for a year. They've been up and down, you know, with the G League team, just getting experience, getting reps, because obviously being behind B, you ain't going to get too much time, rightfully so. So they've been up and down. I expect for those guys to kind of bolster their front line. And if they do, where they can get in the rotation and do the dirty work or whatnot, that changes a lot because Embiid ain't got to do it. You know what I mean? So, and that's extra size and athleticism, man. So, at one point in time, Charles Bassey was the top player in high school. You know, he just had a few injuries. He was seen as a lottery pick. He just had a few injuries in high school and college that, you know, scared some teams away. But they got to steal with him, you know, if he's working and reach his potential, which I don't see no reason why he hasn't, man. So, but all eyes just look, if James is him, if he's playing up to his full maximum ability, they're gonna be held. They're gonna be right there. And obviously, Embiid, the only other bigs in his class, Giannis, Jokic, you know, AD when he's healthy. That's it. So, you know, it's gonna be fun, man. But we gotta see what James looking like and if he can sustain it throughout the year. You know what I mean? And that means buying in defensively as well, because you got some dogs on that perimeter, dog. This ain't the West where I play. I only see stuff here and there. You know, it ain't like that no more. You're gonna see dogs every game. So we're gonna see what it is.
And then I know Ray shared his player to take a leap during his you know his breakdown. But who was yours, Cardo?
You gotta look at Maxey. You gotta look at Maxey, man. You know, because he actually has all-star talent. It's just that right now with his role with the other guys on the team, he may not. I mean, he still could if he just play lights out. Um, but they're not gonna. He's not going the volume of shots and stuff. It'll be a little bit harder. But if he's efficient as hell and strapping up, doing a little bit of everything, which you see Doc groom them with the training camp footage that they're releasing and stuff like that. Like, yeah, you run the team, you make the call and stuff like that. On top of what he can do scoring wise and getting after defensively, for sure, him. I can see him easily become you know, he averaged 17 last year with on 48 percent from the field, 42% from three. So he already there for 3-point range. He right there with the field goal percentage and 86%. He already efficient enough. So if he can get that 20 plus with the 4 assists and 3 rebounds, if he can make that 5 and 5 and then really get out there defensively, man, like, bro, that's a whole nother dimension. Hell, he could take James off the ball. So like James is like, cool, let me just get buckets real quick. You know what I'm saying? Help relieve him. So look, they got the talent, and we all know they're gonna be right there making noise at the end.
All right, on to the quietest off the court team in this division, the Toronto Raptors.
It's on you, Ray.
Man, I like this team, man. The Raptors are solid. They got you know, Scotty Barnes coming off a rookie of the year campaign. You know, Siakam all NBA last year. You know, Van Vliet, he's steadily improving, had his best season last year. They picked up Otto Porter, man, who's he's a good rotational player, adds some veteran presence. Hopefully OG is healthy this year. I mean, it's some guys still left over from the championship team, so they got that experience. they don't really have a superstar guy, but I mean, as a collective unit, they're tough, man. They're
Yeah.
tough. They're tough as hell.
Yeah.
They got a lot of moving parts. A lot of versatile guys. Their length defensively just causes people hell. Man, and then they got the experience from last year to for the younger guys. The guys like Malachi Flynn and I can't remember the other guy's name right now. It escapes me.
What position?
Um, he's a guard.
Blanton.
Yes, Blanton. That's it. Yeah, so he's steadily coming along, and yeah, man, they're gonna be tough. I'm excited to see what they do. They got a chance to kind of take a leap as a team. They still got their core together. They didn't add a lot. So it's not some getting used to it. They're just continuing to grow together. So this they could be trouble, man. They could be trouble, and then these guys are going to be here because Van Vliet's locked in. Scotty Barnes, of course, is only his second year. Siakam's going to be there, so I mean, Raptors in a good spot. Of course, they're not as top heavy as some of the favorites, but they got a fighting chance simply because of how they play defense. So yeah, I like how the Raptors are looking going into the season.
We all know what the Raptors specialize in. Them 6'8", 6'9", play all 5 position dudes, and they just look. They just let them loose. Like, do what y'all do, man. And they hell. And look, it's no secret. For them, it's just swarming defensively and just making your life miserable. And then causing turnovers and then getting out and using that length and that versatility and athleticism, making you pay for that, man. Look, they're tough. The only thing that really hurt them last year was the key injuries. Van Vliet got hurt. Barnes got banged up, man. It just one injury after another at the wrong time in the playoffs, and that's what kind of doomed them. I expect Barnes to make an All-Star league. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's that good. Like, he just needed a year to get understand the league, and now that he understands and what it takes, and coming out of college at Florida State, they compare him to Kawhi Leonard. I think people gonna really see what they're talking about because he's actually further after their rookie year. He's actually further ahead than where Kawhi was at that point in time with the Spurs. Even though it's a different situation when the Spurs were still in championship mode and whatnot, but still, he's the best experience is game experience, and he got more of that than what Kawhi did at that point. Pascal Siakam is the resident. He's the resident All-Star for them. Van Vliet is too. Gary Trent, we all know he could put buckets up. He's a tough defender. But that front line with OG, Pascal, and Scotty Barnes is a mother. It's a mother to deal with, man. And they actually match up well with the Nets, with the Sixers. Who else? The Cavs. They match up well with anybody because of that. And the thing is, all 3 of those guys, they may not have any footers, but all those guys can go in there and they're athletic and long enough to go in there and get the board, and they can initiate the whole offense. And that causes mismatch problems. And, I mean, they're just tough to deal with when they're healthy, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially when Van Vliet and Trent and the boys are cooking. It's tough to deal with. Then you add in the additions of Otto Porter. I don't want to forget Malachi Flynn. You know what I'm saying? He being the backup point guard, he got some good medicine last year as well. So I think he's going to be for him, it's just getting the defensive end right. Because I see where sometimes the coach gets frustrated with him, man, because they put him at pick and roll coverage and he struggles getting those screens and staying with guards, and that's how they get picked apart, so to speak, when the starters go out. But once he gets that down offensively, he already there. So, look, I love what I saw out of him if he can get the defensive end right, man. So with those guys, and the thing is they're young. All the veteran leader, Charlotte Porter, I just got a ring, so he can kind of get them tips. Thaddeus Young still there. You know what I'm saying? To get a veteran leadership. Oh yeah, I forgot the other guy, Chris Boucher.
Mm.
6'9", 6". You see what I'm saying? They got him galore up in there. That's all they draft. So look, they right there, man. It's just a couple guys make a leap, and they can make as much noise as anybody in the East, man. And I expect that from Barnes. I expect to look. They could easily have 3 All-Stars. They could easily have 3 if they play up to their ability, man. So yeah, they're gonna be right there, man. They're gonna be a headache to deal with. Just stay healthy.
Who'd you guys have taking a leap for this team? There's a lot of choices, so.
Barnes. I'm just leaving that Barnes.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
I
guys
agree,
making it
man.
easy. I appreciate that. Okay. The Barnes. Yeah, they got a ton, man. Like you said, nothing but 6'7" and up. Just, Van Vliet's the smallest person over there, everybody else in that same 6'7" to 6'9" range.
Hold on, you being nice, 6'7". It's one. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's
Got
crazy.
12 dudes in their training camp, 6'8" and up.
Oh, they counting Blanton at 6'8"?
They said he's 6'9".
Oh my God. Okay. Well, see,
Man.
that's why I said 6'7". I saw somewhere they had him at 6'7". So he's at 6'9". That's ridiculous. So he's a Raptor. He's a Raptor. Yeah, he's a Raptor. Yeah.
If you ain't 6'9", they ain't coming to see you, bro.
Oh, that's ridiculous. They just got them in spades. Here's another one.
Yeah.
All right. On to the Bulls. We're going to leave the Atlantic Division.
Oh,
Man, all that drama took some time. We're going to try to just basketball the rest of the way until I think we get out west. Because some of them divisions out west got some drama in it. But I'm going to say that for a little while. On to the Bulls. Some dark clouds around them a little bit with injuries with to Lonzo Ball. We know health really kind of derailed them last year for the most part too. That said, it's another solid team in a loaded East. What you guys got to say about Chicago?
They gonna miss Lonzo, man.
Mm-hmm.
They gonna miss Lonzo. And it's scary that he has to get another surgery. When listen to his injury, he hasn't even been able to run and jump yet. So that's concerning. Hopefully, this new surgery cleans that up because he was starting to find himself in the league, man. And it wasn't just, he improved his jumper. He could always pass, but defensively, man, he was a pest. He was a pest, man. And look, if you got that guy at the top that can cut off the head of the snake, it makes everything else that much easier on defense, man. So they're going to miss him. Well, he averaged nearly 2 steals a game, 1.8, 13, 5 and 5. Shot a career high 42% from deep. They're going to miss that. DeRozan's DeRozan. We know what he do. Mid-range king. He get going, he can put up points with anybody in the league. I like that addition to Goran Dragic, so obviously the team was aware of what this become. We've seen a lot of Dragic over the years. He seems to love DC. He usually comes here, drop anywhere between 20 and 30. Doesn't matter what his role is. So, we all know what he can do. Dosunmu, I'm looking to see if he make the leap for them. That's another guy that can also lessen the blow of Alonzo, and he can do it a different way where Goran Dragic might be directing things, scoring out of the pick and roll, mid-range threes and stuff like that. Dosunmu may be the guy to get out there defensively and make up other guards' lives just hell. You know what I'm saying? And, and while also trying to lead, you see what I'm saying? They got Andre Drummond, which will be interesting to see how he fit with what's my man?
With Vucevic down there?
Yeah, Vucevic. It would be interesting to see how that goes. Patrick Williams, I want to see him to kind of get back steam from what he had his rookie year. I know he's battling an injury. Alex Caruso, one of the most valuable role players in the NBA. That's an addition, man. I think they just kind of they got to change their identity, so to speak, and be more of a defensive-minded team instead of kind of being an up and down offensive-minded team. Because I don't know if they have that playmaker that can facilitate at the rate they want to run. So they're going to have to kind of ugly the game up a little bit. Kobe White, look, he has the tools. He has the skill. Just a matter of him putting it together, man. So those are guys. And obviously we can't Zach LaVine, clearly. Him and DeRozan are kind of the same boat. I know what I'm going to get out of it now. It's just a matter about the other guys. And really on the point guard, point guard. That's the biggest question mark. Now, Goran Dragic, we know what he's capable of doing, but at his age,
Mhm.
you see what I'm saying? Can he sustain it? And is Dosunmu ready to do those things? We'll see.
Yeah, man, the Lonzo thing sucks. They're definitely gonna miss him, especially with with the teams around him getting better. Them not being in full strength is it's going to be tough. But they still have a lot left, even without Lonzo being there. Their core from last year is tough. DeRozan, Levine, Caruso, Vucevic, and those guys. They're a lot to deal with, man. Like Cardell said, man, the question mark is the point guard spot. Can collectively can they make up for what Lonzo brought? And it's possible they can. Dragic, super experienced. But he is up there in age. Desumu's young, but he's got the tools. Kobe White's there as well. He's capable of. But yeah, they are gonna have to get better defensively. And they got the personnel for it. They just gotta adopt that mindset. But yeah, hopefully this Lonzo thing is cleaned up and he can he can be there down the stretch of the season and for the playoffs. But yeah, they should be in the mix, man. They got enough talent to be there.
All right, we're going to move on in the Central Division to the Cleveland Cavaliers, which became so interesting because of a quiet little trade that happened as Utah was getting rid of anything that mattered because they decided to kick off the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes with a flourish. Shout out to Danny Ainge for that. Cleveland Cavaliers, floor y'all's.
They're probably to me going to be the most intriguing team in the East. Them getting Donovan Mitchell, that's a game changer. Because Darius Garland, man, he grew up last year. They got a lot of young, versatile talent, but now they have they got a bona fide number one guy now. And and Donovan, he's gonna have to lead and continue to do what he was doing in Utah. Because with what he got around him, Garland, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, Okoro, man, they got tools. Cleveland, they can make somebody life hell. They gonna be that team that nobody gonna be excited to play in the first round. I'm excited to see what happens with them. Just a bunch of young guys that like to get out there and get after it, man. So they definitely gonna be on my league pass schedule.
Yeah, same. Once Donovan got there, it changed everything about the East, man. It's like, damn. Remember I always say like certain players when they move, depending on the team they go, the league feel it. Well, the league kind of felt that, especially the Eastern Conference. And now it's like if you were a shooting guard, there's no nights off in the East. Like for the Bills, the Kyries, and Jaylen Brown. I know Jaylen Brown down for it. You know what I'm saying? Like even the Raptors, youngins and stuff. You gotta be ready now. You thought at first, like Colin Sexton's talented, but he could be inefficient. So sometimes it's like, all right, in a sense, he's so check at times. But you got to worry about Garland on the perimeter. Obviously, the bigs behind you deal with them and their athletic small forward group that they rotate, leading led by a Coral. You deal with it that way. You ain't got that luxury no more. You got to deal with an entire backcourt, all-star backcourt with a potential all-star front line, and that's just look, man. It is what it is. Just tough to deal with, man. So. And the thing is, they love to play defense, and I keep going back to that. Those bigs, people gonna try to act like defense don't matter. It's all about the skill and all that, man. Look, man, you get in that lane, you see them boys right there waiting. It changes things. You see a whole lot of passes getting thrown back out. Let's rethink this. This is not gonna go the way we think. And then you got Okoro, who's a monster already defensively. Patrick Stevenson Lamar Stevens is a tough defender in his own right as well, coming off the bench. And don't forget about Cedi Osman, who another guy that loves DC. We've seen a lot of his big games when he come here because of his size and ability to shoot the ball. they're gonna be a tough matchup, man. For them, it's just how much they've grown up, as far as the youngest. And truth be told, before we even get to the league and stuff like that, I feel like Donovan Mitchell has the most to prove with this team because this team was right there in the playoff mix and whatnot. Donovan Mitchell, it seemed like it's a question mark. Like, can you win with him? We know he individually can put up numbers, but can you go to the next level and get through the playoffs with him? It's no excuse no more because now you have talent all around you. Can you do that? We gonna see what that is, man. But as far as for me making the guy that make the leap is obviously Evan Mobley. I can easily see him getting in the All-Star mix. What do you average? 16 and 10. As a rookie. No, no, he didn't. He averaged 16 and 8. So he averaged 16 and 8, 2.5 assists, nearly 2 blocks out the gate as a rookie. Not being that, and even though he shot 25% from deep, he's capable of getting that up there to the 30% range where you got to deal with him. And improve his free throw shooting, yeah, he could easily be an all-star mix.
Right? Did you name someone from the Cavs to take a lead, or is it Evan as well?
Oh, I didn't, but yeah, I like the Evan Mobley pick, man. Just seeing how he adapted to the league very quickly, and then with that year under his belt and a full off season, man, he has no choice but to get better.
Right. And before we move on, the only thing I would just add to that team is much like the Raptors, they just had some key injuries. Like their season kind of tilted a little bit when Jared Allen and Evan got hurt. When those two were there, like, bruh, nobody was scoring on them. Like it just. Be honest, like you know how good defensively you have to be, where you can put Lauri Markkanen at the 3 and not get 8 up. Like you were that nice, the two of them were wrecking lives together, and then they got hurt, and then the playoffs started, and also like I don't know how the rookie of the year thing works out if Evan stays healthy the whole time, and I'm not saying Scotty's not deserving, just saying the injuries because injuries affected that year for a lot of young players, unfortunately. And like you, Carter, I think the thing I took most from was with Donovan because this team was kind of on the precipice last year. We saw where they're going, where it was only injuries in the way in terms of their trajectory. You don't be the guy that comes here and mess it up. And also, you want to talk about ready-made? Bro, what else can you ask for? Not to knock Utah, but this situation here, bro, how you leave Rudy Gobert and walk into Evan Mobley and Jared Allen? That's a pretty good life with Darius Garland next to you. Don't be the reason. Just East Coast a little different, man. Don't be the reason. This ain't Utah.
Yeah, you can't hide out there.
Just saying, don't come out here and get murdered on that end of the floor. I saw, I heard a clip, talking about wanting to play defense and all that. That's great and that's wonderful. You're the guy over there out of everybody on that roster. Night after night, they're going to be trying to find you, buddy.
Yep.
It's going to be you.
And the sad thing is, when he first came to the league, matter of fact, I remember early in his career, he actually won a game here in D.C. off a defensive play. He did a good-ass job. He fought around the screen, wall past the Bill, and he recovered enough and forced Bill to double clutch it, and they ain't even get a shot off and all. I'm like, where'd that go? And then it's like last year in Utah, I'm like, it's like he got spoiled by Gobert. Like, yeah, I could just let him go. Nah, bro. Like it, because all you're going to do is get those bigs in foul trouble, and then you're going to still be in the same position. Like, damn, I could have been strapping the whole time. And then you lose your advantage, and now it's a shootout from guard position, and you ain't going to win that with Kevin and those guys. You're not going to win that. So, yeah, I love what you said, man. So we're going to see.
Hey, look, no off nights out here, buddy. To Detroit, another young, fun team. Troy Weaver got these guys headed in the right direction. If you guys remember back to draft night, where I couldn't stop talking about I don't even know the right way to say it. Finessed a couple teams and walked out with some high quality talent. That's the nicest way I can say it. And then added to it as well. What do you guys think about Detroit?
Like you said, man, a lot of youth, a lot of talent. They're obviously still in a rebuild. But the thing about them last year, even though they didn't win a lot, they competed every single game, man. Like that was you know, it was tough to play them, and Cade Cunningham, he kind of went through his growing pains. He's going to be much more acclimated to the league this year. Sadiq, he improved. They drafted Jaden Ivey. Man, they'll they, it's just gonna be one of them teams where you just got to be patient with them, man. It seems like people aren't able to exercise that these days. They see young guys and they give them 2 years to kind of fully materialize as players, and that's just not how things work, man. So I just expect them to keep trending upwards. So they rescued Marvin Bagley the third from basketball hell. So he'll hopefully he gets a chance to just kind of grow into himself, and because the defining thing of his career is where he was drafted, you know, um, especially given who came out after him. So I mean, he's with a young talented group. Hopefully he can use that to his advantage. But yeah, man, they're not going to be in the postseason, but they should be fun to watch. And like I said before, man, they're competitive as hell. Like they one of them teams that you even though they may be at the bottom of the standings, you still can't go into the game just kind of chalking it up as a win, because they're gonna scrap till the buzzer go off, and if you're not careful, they'll sneak one in on you. But yeah, man, they a young talented team. They should be exciting to watch. Might not win much, but the game's definitely gonna be worth tuning into.
Yeah, for me, with the additions, the veteran additions that they had, along with that young core, kind of getting some experience and getting used to one another, I wouldn't be shocked if they're the Cavs this year, if they're the Cavs of the NBA this year, where they just make a unexpected leap and they're in the playoff mix. I think that organization led by Troy Weaver, they're doing a hell of a job, man. Not just drafting the right people for what the culture they want to set, but also adding a certain type of veteran that won't disrupt that, but add value to the team and still can play. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think people they underestimate the additions that they have. Look, obviously the young core is Sadiq Bey, Cunningham, and Stewart. You know, that's their young core. But then when you look at the guys that they drafted, I mean, they traded for Bagley. He's there now. But Ivy and Jalen Duren out of Memphis. Uh, Look, Jalen Duren is just a bigger, more athletic version of Stewart. Stewart may be more grimy or tougher, more of a bruiser, but Jalen Duren is the reason why they was comparing him to Dwight Howard when he came out of high school. 6'10", 250, chisel, super athletic. He has a chance to be in the monster in his own right. But then look at the veterans that they had. Alec Burks that came from New York. He was great for New York. A lot of buckets, man. A lot of big shots as well. Kimber Walker's there. Corey Joseph. These are guys that come in with professionalism and they're looking to win and know how to make winning plays. And then the underrated thing that they just added, Bojan Bogdanovic, man, the sniper, Bo Buckets. That's shooting that they did not have last year, and he's fully capable, man. So if they could just get that together and speed up the learning curve for the young fellas, man, they can pile up some wins. When you look at it, like, oh damn, okay, they in a playoff mix, and let's see if they maintain. By all stuff, they can be in a playoff mix and stuff like that, and stay healthy. Because there's no reason to with the youngest. It's just a matter of how quickly the youngest pick up things. I know the Cole Bay and Cunningham and Stewart, I know they're gonna make an impact, but they're gonna need those rookies, Duran and Ivy, because they're gonna be in a rotation. They're gonna need those guys to pick things up quickly with the veterans and stuff. And I don't see no reason why they can't. That's why they were drafting, man. So I love what they're doing out there, man. So don't be shocked if they make that happen, man. They still got a long way to go, but they did definitely on the right track for sure.
Yeah, I think they're another one of the teams where you guys are just talking about the Raptors with good size. Another one of those things where it's just you throw in youth, right? Unlimited youth. They're a bunch of young, big kids. Look, like Cardell, like you said, I wouldn't be shocked if they're in the mix. just by virtue of them playing hard. And the kids are uber talented. And I love Alex Burks being there. Alex Burks, I thought he was great for New York. I don't think he got enough credit for what he brought to New York, especially being consistent on a team where they had so many, like you guys said, people not knowing their roles and things of that nature. I think that's wonderful for a team with this much youth. Yeah, I'm looking forward to year two, okay, for sure, because I think towards the end of the regular season last year, we saw him kind of really gain his footing quietly. And, we already saw with Sadiq, he's been consistently getting better since he's been in the league. On to the Pacers, who they were one of the teams that they looked different to start the year. Trade deadline looked definitely different after the trade. And somebody who everybody expected to be gone is still there to start the year. Miles Turner is still a member of the Indiana Pacers. So, Carter, we'll start with you. Your thoughts on the Pacers and Miles Turner.
Yeah, he's there for now. Wow. This situation where and not just him, Buddy Hield. You know what I mean? Like a lot of teams wanted him. They got to figure out where they want to go. Do they want to completely start over, or they're looking to win right now? Because they kind of in the middle of this right now. It's hard to see where this team want to go. Other than it'd be hard to see them in a playoff mix right now because you just don't know which direction they want to go. Like, look, there's certain players like Halliburton, obviously Turner, Buddy Hield. I like what the Rook did, Chris Duarte. I like what he brought to the team. But there's a lot of question marks outside of that we're going to have to wait to see to be answered, man. They traded for Jaylen Smith, local product from Phoenix. You'll see what he can bring. He probably get more minutes. Daniel Tice is over there, TJ McConnell. It's just hard to see this team get enough wins in the East, especially with how deep the East is to be in that playoff picture, man. And they have to figure out exactly what it is they're trying to do. Are they going young, or are they just trying to build with some young veterans? Let's say that. You know what I mean? So, and clearly, what style are they gonna play? Clearly, it looks like they're gearing towards letting the guards run the show. So, does that benefit Miles Turner? Will you get a motivated Miles Turner since they know everybody know that he was being shipped? It could be writing on wall for him to be shipped, depending on what happens across the league with other teams. Like what we just talked about with the Nets, kind of thin up front. You know what I mean? They got some pieces they can throw in there to go get Miles Turner. You see what I'm saying? That could be a potential. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't have no inside information or whatever for the people watching, but I'm just saying that. So, look, it's just hard for them. You see them being back. Where they are now, I can see them being back in the lottery for sure, being back in that mix or whatnot. Unless some trades happen where they vastly improve quickly, but I just don't see that happening, right now, man. So. The best thing they can look forward to is the young players developing and growing, and trying to maximize each game and stuff like that. But maybe possibly they can reach for a play-in spot, reach for it. You know what I'm saying? See how that goes. But in the East, the way how deep it is now, it's a long reach.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm in the same boat as Cardell. Like they kind of in limbo right now, so to speak. I don't expect this roster to look the same by February. They got decisions to make. They do have some pieces. I like the kid they drafted out of Arizona. He's going to be intriguing at the NBA level, man. He's got the athleticism. He can shoot the three and defend. You just got to learn the league. But yeah, I think they definitely going to still looking to make some roster moves. So yeah, man, I think this is going to be another year of them trying to figure themselves out. They even with the team they have, they're not bad, but the whole Miles Turner thing. Once you get a guy in that position, like the trade rumors have been there, and he remains, like that's you basically got to trade him at this point, unless something magical happens and and he recommits and they just kind of go on a run or something. I just don't see him being there. Um, Jaylen Smith's gonna be a wild card. We know what he's capable of potentially, but just waiting for him to put it all together. So yeah, this is they'll probably have a few ping pong balls rolling around come seasons in.
Yeah, Cardell, I think you said it perfectly. They're at a crossroads. They got they got a mix of two different teams. Where are you going? What are you doing? And you need to choose one immediately, because it almost felt like when they made the trade to go get Halliburton, Miles should have been on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
However, we're here now. We'll see what happens. And like you said, if they give away Miles to a contender, whoever it could be, for pennies on a dollar, just bad teams do bad things, man. Like, and they'll end up with racing, ping pong balls and whatnot. Last team in the Central Division, the Milwaukee Bucks. So interested to see what you guys got to say about Giannis and company. Yeah,
Yeah. I just think they just need to stay healthy, pretty much. Like, and I know, and get Middleton healthy. I think he's out for the early part of the season. I will not get him healthy, and it's back to business. They're gonna be down there. They're gonna be there at the end as well. Um, Giannis had a long summer, but that's also a good thing because he's gonna be already in game like mid-season form when the season start, man. But I just think that's all it is. Them staying healthy because that's what doing them. Even against the Celtics, Middleton. If he's healthy, I think they get past the Celtics and they playing the Warriors in the finals. They have the best player in the game, Giannis. Drew Holiday. I call him the Sidney Moncrief of today's game. Gets it done at the elite level on both ends, uh, where very few guards can. And that's just what it is. Brooke Lopez staying healthy, obviously. Bobby Portis was big, bringing him back. You keep the nucleus, you keep the chemistry together. Underrated pickup, though. Joe Ingles.
Mm-hmm.
Look, man, he's one of those guys the average fan don't pay attention to, but he's annoying because he can light you up and he's unconventional. He's one of them unconventional players. Like most players, 90% of players, you can get a rhythm on them defensively. You figure out their rhythm, you stay with them, how the moves they make. He's unconventional. He's herky jerky, man. It's like uh, he's tough to guard. He's tough to deal with. Ultra confident. There's no shot that he don't like. He loves the moment. So and he loves to pass and stuff. And one thing about him that I do love, he ain't afraid to speak up. He gonna tell it like it is. So that's another mouth in the locker room to keep those guys focused and stuff. Because guess what? He's coming from Utah, where in a lot of ways they underachieved. So he's eyeing the championship. He hungry. He was hurt, and he's coming here, and they're gonna need that. You know what I mean? So look, man, for them, they have all the tools, dog. Just get Middleton. They still got their core for the most part. The guys that won the championship outside PJ Tucker. Uh, just stay healthy. That's as simple as that. Get everybody healthy, and Giannis and them hold it down till Middleton come back. Stay healthy, man. Try to get home court, and they'll be right there. Then obviously with the Phillies and the Nets of the world.
right.
Yeah, for sure. Health is going to be their their biggest opposition, man. Middleton had a untimely injury last season in the playoffs. Who knows how that Boston series turns out? If he's there. I mean, it went 7 without him, so I mean, if he's there, then obviously that adds a little more to Milwaukee. The Lopez missed a bunch of time last year with the back injury. Ingles he's not going to be there immediately, but he'll be there when it matters. Going down the stretch and heading into the postseason, and of course Giannis is Giannis. So yeah, if their whole went at the right time, then man, they got to be one of them teams that you talk about being there, at the end. So yeah, that's they just gotta stay healthy, man.
For sure. Like you said with Ingles, if they're whole later, think about the floor for Giannis, where you got Middleton and Joe out there. Like you can't afford to leave either one of them two. One of the things we know Joe does well on this earth is shoot that three. And there's another person like as unconventional like Cardo mentioned. He can get you a bucket outside of just catching and shooting, just to put pressure on the defense. So again, I feel like that was a story for a lot of teams in the league last year. Had they been whole, we got robbed of seeing a lot of teams be able to compete at full strength last year. I think it's something we could definitely say. As we close out the Eastern Conference, we're going to wrap up with the Southeast Division. The Atlanta Hawks is where we're going to start. Your thoughts on the Hawks, Ray?
Man, of course, they picked up Deontay Murray. That's whenever you can add all-star talent to your roster, that's always a positive thing. But it's gonna be interesting to see how he meshes with Trae Young. Because he'll be moved off the ball. But he's gonna undoubtedly help defensively. They need some improvement in that area. They lost a little bit of their outside shooting with Gallinari not being there and Kevin Huerter leaving. But they upgraded defensively. Adding Murray, Justin Holiday. Defense runs in that family, and Mo Harkless. So yeah, man, they kind of what they gave up on offense, they kind of made up for it on the defensive end. Still a question mark as to if we'll ever get a full season out of DeAndre Hunter. If he's there, then that changes a lot. We know what John Collins is going to bring. We know what Capella is going to bring. It's just a matter of Murray and Trae fitting together, and I'm sure they'll figure it out. They're two super talented guys. But yeah, man, it's just seeing how that comes together. Like the year before last, they kind of I think they made a leap too soon, for lack of a better word. They went to the conference finals, man. So last year was kind of looked at as as a disappointment. I know they're looking to get back to that success they had, from 2021. So yeah, man, it's going to be interesting, man. Trae has established himself as one of those guys. Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, they just got to put together.
Yeah, like you said, they lost Huerter. You pick up DeJounte. Feels like they're surrounding, that point guard who needs to pick it up on that under the floor with more guys who can strap. In a perfect world, DeJounte Murray next to DeAndre Hunter sounds great. It sounds wonderful. Trae has to get better on that end of the floor. I think the big thing for them, and I'm gonna keep going back, for me, is just John Collins. They got to find a way to get the most out of John Collins. When John Collins is like rolling, they're a little different on both ends of the floor. All the other bigs on the team can't provide what he provides offensively. Obviously, they have a lot of bigs on the team, athletic, do what they need to do defensively. Obviously, Clint Capella is a lot for them. But I'm with you, DeAndre Hunter. The health of DeAndre Hunter, because I thought he got a little bit better last year at the times that we saw him, but wasn't available the entire time. And then I just need consistency from John Collins. For him to be consistent, available, and fully engaged at all times. We know what he can do. This is another team where I'm looking at Trey, where don't be this team that runs out of this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, the East is tough, but you made a move to go get DeJounte. That, like, to me, that signifies, like, we're going for it. So,
right, yeah.
You need to. But it's words until otherwise. But we talked about so many other teams in the East. That other end of the floor, especially for 11, is huge. Cardell, your thoughts on the Hawks?
Pretty much, just piggybacking on what you guys said. Just more focus, and definitely Trae. He gotta get better on that end. It's similar to what with Jason Kidd's demanded of Luka, which we're gonna talk about later. You gotta put forth the effort to be the full leader that I know he wants to be. You can't. I don't care if you average 100. when you working hard, because it's hard work to defend. It's a lot of energy. You get tired. It's physicality, and for the players are busting their butt, moving around, keeping these ultra talented players at bay. They make one pass and they just turn around. Somebody getting an easy layup. It deflates the team, and it's just like, man. But then you come down the other end, you putting up a 40-footer. It's just like, hold on, dog. Hold on. Y'all know what I say. If you can move on offense, you can move on defense. I don't want to hit it. So he got to bring it on that. But they were just a young team last year, and they kind of caught up to them growing pains, man. Because I think when they made that run the year before, deep in the playoffs and Eastern Conference Finals, and lost to the Bucks, I think, you could kind of tell going to the next season like they felt like they were there. In the sense that they play like, and that's the mark of a young team to understand that nothing is promised the next season. So I think that was kind of some humbling where they had to do a play-in to get in the playoffs and stuff coming from the Eastern Conference, and it kind of just showed them that y'all got to come ready to play each and every season, man. It's nothing given. So I think that shot kind of humbled them and got them back focused, and they're gonna be in the playoff mix for sure. Obviously, if they stay healthy and whatnot, but yeah, for sure, man. And then having how many games Clint Capella played last year? That was he played 73, but he missed some key games, I think, in the playoffs and whatnot. So having them back will definitely help. John, like I heard you say, John Collins, man, he got all-star position his damn self. It's time for him to reach it so they can go to the next level. DeAndre Hunter, stay healthy. Just stay healthy. That's the main thing. Stay healthy. They got their own. He was compared to Kawhi too. So he has the tools to be an impact player like that on both ends. He just got to stay healthy because it's hard to maintain a rhythm and maintain the flow when you're in and out of the lineup. Stay healthy with that and you'll be fine. Horder, Bogdanovich, like Shaq saying, anybody with bitch can shoot. You just keep those guys, man. Keep them focused, man. Keep the youngest just locked in, and they'll be right there. Maybe I don't see them being up there with the Bucks and Philly and the Nets in the East, but they ain't gonna be an easy out either. You see what I'm saying? They gonna be one of them second round teams. Like, damn, you gotta deal with these young boys, so you want to deal with them. So if they're locked in.
On to the Charlotte Hornets, who feel like they've been in this perpetual place of they've just been in the same place for quite a while. I don't even trying to find the right way to say it. I don't think there's words for it. They are the Hornets. So you guys' thoughts on what this is gonna be year 3 for LaMelo?
Yep.
Have at it, guys.
It hurts. Listen, man. The Miles Bridges situation hurts. More drama. That hurts tremendously, man, because he vastly improved, and he was a big part of the reason that they finished above 500 for the first time in God knows how long. For them, even LaMelo should be an all-star by now already. But I think he has to really lock in more as far as leading. And I'm not saying he's not a leader, but it's different levels of leading. And I think he has to be that because he's the franchise guy, period. There's no getting around it. I don't care about the veterans and whatnot. He's the franchise guy, and he's the most talented, man. He's a triple double threat, like on average. You know what I mean? You just can't find that. It's only with him and with Luka, LeBron, or somebody like that. It ain't too many of those guys in the league. Ben Simmons, when he's healthy, he's knocking on the door of that as well. He's a special talent, man. He had when he. I'm trying to pick my words, man, because I don't want people to look at it wrong. When he matures, not to say he's immature, but mature more. It's levels. Like as you grow as a player, things just click more. It's just a natural progression for any athlete. When they need him to mature more, where it's just like, all right, look, everybody come to practice. We need to focus. Stop giggling all the time. Yo, get off IG, dog. We got to focus. Like when he gets to that point, I think the rest of the team will follow, and they will go to another level. Look, like I said, Miles Bridges, that hurts. That hurts a lot. But you got Kelly Oubre there ready to step in and fill that role. I think PJ Washington is a valuable role player. The thing that really hurt them from making the playoffs was Gordon Hayward, man. Gordon Hayward when he got hurt. That was the difference. And I think Gordon Hayward is exactly what I'm talking about. He's that mature perspective, like to keep those guys locked in and stuff. That same thing, he has to stay on the floor. He's had the injury history and whatnot. When he was healthy, they was in the playoff mix. They was like top 5 or 6 in the playoffs. And then they fell out of the mix when he got hurt. So losing him was huge, but having him back is great. They got bigger. Mark Williams, drafting him out of Duke. You got Nick Richards there as well. Mason Plumlee's still their valuable addition as far as inside presence. Like I said, you need size, man. You ain't gonna make any noise in the East. It's just the way it is. Terry Rozier, man. Sheesh. Human microwave. I'm still shaking my head at what he did in DC. That damn move he did, the sham guard. That was crazy. We had to pop the trunk on that one. But that was man. That and the youngest, seeing which youngest are going to be ready to explode. Look, there's no reason for them not to make a playoff lead this year if they're healthy. There's just no reason. So that should be their expectation. They should be trying to be like, we're going to be in the playoffs, the top 8. If they fail to do that, it's a failure. And you got to start, LaMelo, what's up? You got to start looking at him because been in the league for 3 or 4 years. Come on, should be able to elevate. Like, because think about it. Look at what Luka and Trey doing. It ain't like other young pieces and other young players around your same age in the league ain't elevating their teams to that promised land. They already knocking on the door. Yeah, Luka in Western Conference Finals and stuff. You see what I'm saying? So, John Morant, look at all that. So, it's on him. It ultimately comes back to him, man. And so I expect them to be a playoff team. Yeah, I'm putting that expectation on them.
Yeah, man, that Miles Bridges situation, yeah, that really threw a wrench in their plans because he definitely he grew up last year. He was a big part of their success, and but hopefully they'll be able to to make up for him not being there. I think drafting Mark Williams was big for them. Another big body to put in that front line. PJ Washington, he does his damage on the boards. Gordon Hayward, man, he's got to be on the floor. And LaMelo, we got to see how he continues to improve. They're an interesting team, man. They're gonna be right there in the thick of it. I won't be surprised if they make the playoffs, and I won't be surprised if they don't. Man, the East is tough. Like it's a cluster of teams that that 7 through 12 that could be jumbled up a whole lot of ways, man. So I don't know, man. If they maximize their potential, they should be right there in the mix. But it's on them. They got to get out on the court and do the work.
All right, staying in the Southeast Division, moving on to a fun team, Miami, who's been everywhere, who's placed everywhere. We saw the bubble year, the year outside the bubble, last year in the playoffs where Jimmy took the shot to try to, the dagger and didn't have the legs. And Miami's been everywhere on the emotional spectrum. So Heat fans, I don't know how y'all doing it right now. That said, it's another year. You got Jimmy doing weird things with his hair right now. I know me personally, I'm trying to see what the next progression for Bam Adebayo is for Miami because they need him. Cardell Ray, how many times have you talked about the bigs in this freaking conference? And Miami, you kind of one of the teams that don't have the biggest of bigs on your team. Like this is not a team where you look at it like Toronto, where it's just a bunch of 6'9" dudes.
Correction, my brother. This year they have a few 7-footers. They just may not get in the game. So.
They got some guys with height when they get off the bus. So I stand corrected. But y'all go ahead with Miami.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Oh man. Yeah, man. First for them, losing PJ Tucker hurt. and I don't really think they addressed the void he left. But I mean, they still definitely got some talent there. Duncan Robinson, he's going to have to return to form. Um, that what he brought his outside shooting, that having that available just just makes things easier for everyone on the offensive end. You gotta see how Victor Oladipo looks, man. I think he's gonna be an X factor for them. If he can kind of still be, not even what he was when he was when he was the guy in Indiana, but just seeing how he looks after coming back. Um, that's going to be huge for them. And Bam, we know what Jimmy does. We know who he's going to bring. I think Bam's going to be the key, man. If he can, if he can do what we believe he's capable of, then I think they'll be right back in the mix. Because he's one of those. He's versatile. His skill set, man, is unbelievable. He can do damage in the mid post, go down low on the block. He can operate from the elbow. He can do a lot of things. Then defensively, he can guard pretty much 3 through 5. He's got to be that guy, and we don't got to worry about them from a leadership front. Jimmy has those. Has those guys rocking down there, man. Tyler Hero, he's got to continue to be hungry and relish in his role. Gabe Vincent, being behind Kyle Lowry, looking like Kyle Lowry's getting in shape and getting his body right. So that's gonna be huge. But yeah, man, we know what it is down there, heat culture and all that. We know they gonna be in the thick of things, man. They not one of them teams that's gonna go away. But yeah, just interesting to see how they function without PJ there and Duncan Robinson, man. He's got to get back to the level that earned him that contract. So, if all goes well for them, they'll be right back where they were last year.
Yeah, I'm looking at Bam as well. No, he's productive. He's basically a 19, 10, and 4 guy. But they need him to be a 25, 12, and 5 guy. That's what they need him. If he gets to that level, that changes a lot for the East. Because right now, I think they just kind of holding it steady from what they were last year. You know what I mean? And that's cool. That gets you to the second round. Maybe the Eastern Conference Finals, that's good enough to do that. But to win a championship, no, you can't say that. Or to get to the championship, you can't say that unless he takes a leap. We know we're going to get out of Jimmy. Kyle, I think he'll be better because he's more acclimated to what they do. Tyler Hero, he can get better on different ways, especially the defensive end. You know what I mean? Duncan Robinson, we all know what it is. He had a step down season last year, so he got to reclaim, what he is. And Victor Oladipo, what if Victor Oladipo's Indiana, Victor Oladipo, that changes the thing. But it ultimately comes back to Bam, because Bam is going to, at the very least, have to match what the Giannis and Embiid's do. He's going to have to cancel them out. So that other guys can do what they need to do and hopefully bring it home. Because the one thing about it is he should have enough space to dominate. They were number 1 3-point shooting last year, 37%. So I know PJ Tucker leaving hurts, but I like the addition of a two-way guy that may get some minutes. Darius Days out of LSU, scouting him at Portsmouth. Monster. 6'7", 245, athletic, and can shoot the hell out the ball. Like he's not gonna get a lot of pub right now, but he's a Miami Heat type player. And I won't be surprised if he finds himself in a rotation as the season progresses and he start making a noise and people like, where did this kid come from? Just like they done with Max Strus and Duncan Robinson a few years ago. So you're going to see how it goes, man. But, yeah, it's time for Bam to – I feel like he's too good. Stop settling for just being all-star here. You should be all-NBA, first or second team. You should be competing for that spot.
I think we all agree in that regard. On to the Orlando Magic.
Oh, man.
Look, man, I said some teams will be kind of dark and kind of quick. So Here's Orlando for you guys.
It's on me or
Who-
yeah, they lottery round dog. I'll just get right to it. And speaking of look, and it hurt, and I'm Markel, man, fractured his big toe, man. It's like, dang, these injuries, dog. These injuries just it will not let my man stay on the court to get in the flow, do what he does, man. And he shows flashes, man. It's just an injury, man. But look, they got a very young team, a team trying to find their way. That's why they had the number one pick. Uh, obviously, Paulo, Banchero, expect him to do a lot of damage. Wendell Carter's talented, and that's a double guy. Mo Bamba took a leap last year for sure. RJ Hampton, Cole Anthony, Markel Aldo, that backcourt, they're young, but they show flashes. You know, along with Jalen Suggs, you got Franz Wagner. Look, Terrence Ross, who I think a lot of teams will be trying to get because he's another microwave type guy that can go off any minute and win games for you. Look, they're just young. And Bobo, they're just young. Now, I think they'll be exciting to watch because they're young and they're going to be getting up trying to figure themselves out, doing a lot of things, but I don't think they know how to win yet. See, when I'm saying they lottery, I ain't saying it's like, oh, they just trash. They don't have no talent. They're just young. And the East, like I literally just ran on the Eastern Conference. It's like 12 teams right now on paper. Like they in the playoffs, you like, yeah, you won't be shocked. So I don't, unless a couple of their young guys like just take a leap. We ain't seen like Mo Bamba come out, he averaging like 20 and 15 or something, man, or Paulo Banchero, he come to the league and he just one of the rookies like, yeah, the transition easy for me. That's the only way I can see them getting in that playoff mix. But other than that, they're gonna be a young exciting team taking their lumps, and they're gonna have to experience some growing pains and just see what they can do going into the next season. Like what their win total for last year was 22. They should be trying to get in the mid between 35 and 40, improve. That should be their goal this year, and see where that leads them. And it just may happen. They might be enough to get them in, like a player in position, a playoff job. But definitely they should be shooting for. We're gonna be a lot better than 22 wins from last year.
Yeah, they definitely should should have a better outing than they did last season. Hopefully this Markel thing isn't too big of a deal. And he's got the worst luck in the world with injuries. Man, hopefully we get to see him back on the court fairly soon. But I mean, they got a lot of guys on the men. Gary Harris, he's recovering from a torn meniscus. Jonathan Isaac's still a question mark. He's still hampered from a ACL injury in 2020. So I mean, they definitely talented, man. Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony, they got some talent. Franz Wagner, he's coming off a good rookie year. Banchero, depending on how quickly he adjusts, that could be a huge joke for them. So yeah, man, they got some things to work with. They shouldn't be just one of those teams that everybody just beats up on. Like how they alluded to, their inexperience just might not lend to them, being in that mix come postseason. But you never know how the chips fall, man. If they're able to put it together with the talent they have, who knows, man. But yeah, as of right now, they should just be looking to build on what they have and develop these young guys.
All right, last but not least, in the Southeast Division, and to wrap up the Eastern Conference, we got the Washington Wizards, which we talked a lot about recently. That said, you got, I guess, the Cliff Notes version of the Wizards.
Man, they need to play defense. Like we keep saying it over and over again. That's just what it is. Not going to spend too much time on them because, I mean, we're going to have Outlook. We talked about it on the Focus Show Wednesday, but they need to lock in defensively. The offense is going to take care of itself. That's really all I'm concerned about with them. If they do that, I think they should comfortably make the playoffs.
Same deal, man. Strap up and keep Bill, Porzingis, and Kuz on the floor. I think that could be a big three for them in the East that they can count on for those three. There's no reason for those three not to average 20 plus a game for the season. You get that changes down the dynamic, and it helps the rest of the roster find their roles and fill in whatever they need off that. That's what we gonna get a quick preview of that in a few hours. So, in a few hours, whatever, early in the morning tomorrow. So that's it with them, man. There's no excuse why they shouldn't be in the playoffs, especially with the play-in added 10 teams. They should be in the top 10. Period.
Yeah, I think that was perfect. On to the Western Conference. Like you said, the Wizards play in hours. Man, time is moving today. We're gonna start when the Joker, his team. The quote came out the other day, said he kind of wants to be the Tim Duncan of the Nuggets. But to be that means you got to get some chips. So for the Nuggets, how much closer do you guys feel like they are towards him taking steps towards that goal?
We gotta see what Jamal Murray is. That's the thing. If he's healthy and Jamal Murray we saw in the bubble, yeah, they got a shot. And it's just hell. Jokic should get him to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? But with Jamal Murray, that's another asset on the perimeter that can close games as well. Who gonna fill in for what Monte and Will Barton brought? I don't know. I know they got Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Ish Smith. I know Bones Highland is capable. Young, I know he can kind of be capable to be another explosive scorer. A guy that is capable of defending multiple positions as well, like Will Barton. You know what I mean? So that's one. We got to see what the other guys feel. Ish kind of, I know they probably looking at him kind of to fill in that Monte Morris role. So to speak, man. But when you get past those guys, the Aaron Gordons, whatever, when you get to the bench, then what? You know what I mean? And that's where I think when they match up against teams like the Clippers and the Grizzlies and obviously the Warriors, it'll be tough because those teams are deep as hell. You know what I mean? So, but with Jokic, you always got a chance. And if Jamal Murray, they can go on stretches where they dominate the game and pull off wins. So, yeah, it's like in the East. They're one of those teams that'll be right there. You know what I'm saying? If I'm them, I'm going to try to get home court advantage, have everybody come to Denver. That will help. But we'll see, man. But, yeah, they're right there. If they get out the West, nobody should be shocked. It is what it is. Got the two-time MVP. Got an all-star Jamal Murray. Probably got an all-star waiting in Bones Highland. No one should be shocked, man. So they'd be right there making a lot of noise. Definitely in the playoffs. And worst case scenario, top 5 in the West.
Yeah, for sure, man. They're one of the upper echelon teams, and then if depending on how Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. look, that adds a whole nother level to it. Yeah, man, if Michael Porter Jr. is healthy and improves on defense, then the sky's the limit for them. And of course, if Jamal Murray returns back to form, then it's going to be trouble for the rest of the league, man. Jokic by himself is hell to deal with. Then they got other guys that contribute as well. Of course, Bones Highland. They got KCP from the Wizards. Ish Smith. Those guys Cardell mentioned. They're not as deep as some of the other top teams, but they definitely have enough to compete, man. So I know they're eyeing the championship. Jokic, he's putting in some serious work on his body, looking to come into the season in tip-top shape. So, I mean, if they couldn't deal with Doughboy, then, just him being having that much better conditioning, it's going to be trouble.
Oh, yeah, I forgot one person. Michael Porter Jr. returns from injury as well. That right there, he's him and Jamal. If they play up to their full potential, yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough out west. Let's just leave it at that.
On to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Trades have happened. things have happened. We talked. I think we had a question about the Timberwolves and Cat and Rudy and Ant and all sorts of fun stuff a couple weeks ago on the Focus TV. That said, Timberwolves on our season preview. What you guys have to say about Minnesota's chances this year?
Uh, um, yeah, man. Cat's been the biggest mouth so far, so he need to be the one to kind of lead the charge. But I mean, this is Anthony Edwards' team, man. He's one of the brightest young stars in the league. He took a jump last year. I only look for him to improve. Adding Gobert, that helped, but they lost a lot of their depth in doing that. But that should, I think it'll help Cat the most because he doesn't have to spend all his time at the five. Cat's still going to have to get better defensively. They can't just put it all on Rudy. D'Angelo Russell got to bounce back from a subpar playoffs, but he's fully capable. They're one of those teams where like I wouldn't be surprised if they're in the postseason, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're not. It can go either way with them, man. But losing Patrick Beverly, that was some leadership and some defensive toughness and intensity that they're gonna miss. So hopefully they can fill that void. But I mean, it can go either way for them in my eyes.
Yeah, they'll be a playoff team, but will they be in the upper echelon of the West? It remains to be seen, man. They got a lot to prove to get to that point. Obviously the front office they brought in is, resume speaks for itself, so they'll get there fairly quickly if guys ain't ready. But they need more than just adding Gobert. And it comes down to their bench, the depth. Will those guys be up to par when Anthony Edwards and Towns and those guys need a break? They can't play the whole game every game. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So I do like the addition of Kyle Anderson. Coming over from the Grizzlies, man. He balled for those guys, man. Professional, versatile, point forward. And then Austin Rivers, another defender to help out on the perimeter, capable of getting high from deep. You know what I'm saying? So they added some key veteran additions and all that. But, D'Angelo Russell, what are we going to get? Are we going to see the D'Angelo Russell we saw for the first half of last season or later part of last season? That remains to be seen, man. Look, if Anthony Edwards get to the All-Star level and Karl-Anthony Towns really dominates and be in that conversation as one of the best bigs in the land, then yeah, they can move into the middle of the pack in the Western Conference, being that 4 or 5 a seed or whatnot, especially with Gobert down there defending everything, holding the paint down. But if they come back kind of at the same level that they were last year, I just think they're gonna get the same type of results. Get to the first round, get knocked out.
I think that is more than fair. All right, we got a couple teams where, OKC is always OKC. They got their own special place for themselves, where they just remain in the lottery and all they care about is picks. That said, your thoughts on OKC this year? I think we are, as of right now, I think SGA is already hurt for right now to start the year. Waiting for, hoping he has a speedy return. We know Chet's out for the year. Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes for OKC. Shocker. You guys' thoughts on this one?
Yeah, they in the sweepstakes. But I am gonna watch just to see how Giddy improves, Baisley improves, just how the their youngest improve. That's what I'm looking at. I love Dort. Love how he gets after it defensively. You know what I'm saying? He's been improving his jumper every year of his career. But yeah, we all know what it is. Same with Utah. When we get them, let's get it out early. And the Wembanyama sweepstakes, and that's all they're focused on right now.
Anything to add, Ray?
Absolutely not, man. It is what it is.
All right, so we're gonna move on to Portland, who I don't know if they're fully into the sweepstakes or not, or they're just in this middle ground. I don't know what they're doing. Dame's still there after like 2 years of everyone wondering or moving, photoshopping Dame into a Lakers jersey for the last 2 years, over and over and over again. He's still a member of the Trailblazers. Anthony Simons is still there. I think they got Jeremy Grant this offseason. You guys thoughts on what the Blazers, their chances look like in the West if they are healthy?
Whew. Go ahead.
I don't know, man. They added a couple good pieces in Jeremy Grant and Gary Payton II. And of course, you brought up Dame still being there. Anthony Simons, he's a valuable piece as well. But I mean that the top of the West and the teams that are going to be fighting for playoff spots. I don't know, man. They're not fully in the Wembanyama sweepstakes, but they might end up there. It's just a loaded conference. I mean, it is what it is, but with the talent they have, they could find themselves in the mix. Just got to see how this plays out.
I can see them fighting to be around 500, possibly sneak into a play-in spot. Because with Dame, man, he can get you about 25 wins just on some heroic stuff throughout the season. And I love the leap, Anthony Simons. Like he made CJ expendable. Like we ain't gotta pay you though. We good. We got the younger version that honestly got a little bit more with him. You know what I'm saying? So we good on that end. Nurkic, man. Nurkic the dude, man. It's just like, yo, you give him a double or like he gives you a double 15-11, but he has 20 and 12 talent. It's like he's just too inconsistent, where you can't rely on him when you need him most. You see what I'm saying? They added obviously Gary Payton II championship pedigree guys that's gonna grind. You Josh Hart, Jeremy Grant, who's a highly coveted wing player in the league with his 3-and-D skill set. I like the youngest Nazir Little, Shaden Sharp out of Kentucky, super talented. You just need to grow. Greg Brown, super talented, just need to grow. They're just young, man. So like I said, they'll be hovering around 500. But unless a bunch of injuries happen, I can't see them cracking the playoff. Not even a play-in. You know what I'm saying? They about 40, 42 wins. Will be a great season for them.
All right, on to another sweepstakes team. We got the Utah Jazz, which Danny Ainge has made it very clear what their plans were. He blew that whole thing to hell. And they're accumulating picks, and I'm sure he's not done trying to acquire even more picks. If you guys had anything to say about the Utah Jazz, feel free. No. Okay, on to the Pacific Division, which I felt no need to share highlights of any of the last teams we talked about. Will, for this group, because, reigning champs and whatnot, Golden State Warriors. You guys, thoughts on them trying to, do that whole back-to-back thing again?
Shit, I got them being back in the finals, or at least Western Conference Finals for sure. Stay healthy, of course, stay healthy. But yeah, the one thing about champions, especially championship teams that are on a dynastic run, let's call it a dynasty run, they were on top, and then they had a few years where they were at the bottom. And the thing Michael Jordan always said is, man, when you've been at the bottom so long, you finally get to the top, you don't want to go back down that bottom no more because it's hard. It's a hard road to get back up to the top again. They're back on top. And I think that's what Steph was saying when they was like, Giannis is like, hey, he's the best player in the world and all that. He's like, appreciate the compliment, but he ain't going to soften me up. Because they know what it's like to be back at the bottom. And I know that hurt their pride. Like, dog, damn, will we ever get back up here? So I think they hungry to repeat. That starting core, we all know what we're going to get out of them, man. But then them young boys, man, the Kumingas, the James Wiseman, the Moses Moody's, the Pools, it's like, jeez, dog. They literally like 10 to 12 deep. Like Steve Kerr got one of them good problems. Like, who I'm going to play night to night? Outside Steph and them boys. Like, who going to be in the rotation? So them practices are crazy because I know they're crazy because it's like You want to get in this damn game, you back like you won it. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I fully expect them healthy, unless God forbid some major injuries happen. They're going to be in the Western Conference Final against somebody. It doesn't matter who. So, yeah, I got them being in a position to get back to the finals and possibly repeat for sure.
Yeah, I'm on the same wave, man. Like their depth is crazy. Of course, they still have their original championship core intact. Then with Wiggins' jump that he took, like they'll be back in the conference finals, possibly the finals. Definitely would not be shocked if they ran it back again. Still got Jordan Poole to deal with. The youngins, they got another year. They picked up DiVincenzo. They just got a lot to work with. And then with their experience and championship pedigree, they got to be one of the teams that's predicted to be there when it's all said and done.
Yeah, make that all three of us. I'm just here to watch them during the regular season to see how the kids all fight for space come playoff time. And as they grow or whatnot, and obviously that we all want to see what James looks like if he's able to stay healthy, because they just made that run without being able to even rely on their depth for real, for the most part. In terms of their full depth, I'm not trying to put down anybody that they had last year, but this depth potentially looks a little bit different. Like you guys said, 12 deep, a little bit different than 8 deep, a little bit different than 9 deep. 12 is absurd, especially for you mentioned Cardell, team in the midst of a dynasty. That helps keep those guys fresh come playoff time.
Yep.
If the kids can get out here and handle business, it's the best of both worlds. I think we all were laughing at people when people were like, "Oh, you can't do both." Ha, they did, and ha, look, the kids got experience. Ha, they're back again with the kids. How about that? It's amazing.
And also, they had Deontay Murray and JaMychal Green.
JaMychal Green pickup is wild to me. Because when you think about it, you think about all the times they have those, they got Draymond and Loon playing together, where they still are nice offensively without being able to fully stress people out. What you do with JaMychal? You gonna leave JaMychal wide open to take open threes?
He defends. And he's tough. He defends and he's tough, so he's an irritant. So him and Draymond gonna have fun. They're gonna have fun all day, dog. So you're right. They're gonna keep them boys fresh. And I'm like, dog, James Wiseman has David Robinson potential. You mean that you add a David Robinson Jr. to this month? Like, are you serious? So if he stay healthy, that's a dynamic the Warriors ain't even had and the league had to deal with, because now with all that shooting around him, the lob threat, Draymond should be averaging like 10 assists a game, dog. He gonna be having fun.
And then I know, Ray, you initially brought up Dante. Dante and Jordan backcourt sounds fun. Off that second unit, that sounds like a lot of fun. And we already know with Moody and JK. Look, I will be watching them a lot during the regular season just to watch the kids. I don't even care about, like, Steph and them going to do Steph things. I don't even care. I just want to see how the kids progress throughout the year. Yeah. On to the LA teams, because you got to talk about them. Before we get to the Lakers, I'm so sorry because it's in alphabetical. I'm going off NBA.com has it. We're going to talk about the Clippers because they were around last year while missing their two best players. Guess who's back? The Android looks like a couple more upgrades. Came back a little bit bigger. Looked like he'll be spending a lot more time at the 4. PG still PG. They get them back. We saw what Terrence Mann was last year for them. A lot of their youngsters got a lot of run last year while nobody was paying attention. Then, they added this old floor general guy named John Wall, which should be interesting. So you guys' thoughts on LA Clippers, if they are to be healthy this year? What the hell do they look like, considering they were annoying as hell last year without their top two guys?
Tyler on it. Oh, you go ahead, Ryan.
Oh no, yeah. If they remain healthy, they on the short list of teams that should be raising that trophy at the end of the year. They got the top heavy talent. They got depth. They got one of the best coaches in the league. Getting John Wall. I mean, it just frees up Kawhi and PG to play off the ball. I think even when they were there, one of them having to bring the ball up, initiate the offense, just just kind of made things a little bit harder for them. But John Wall is there he's a point guard. He's going to put them in the best spots. So yeah, man, like you can't look at this team and not feel like they're fully capable of winning the championship.
Yeah, I'm with you. They got them two dudes, man, the two wings, and outside Giannis, Kawhi is one of my favorite players in the league to watch. I'm happy he's back. Because he don't say nothing, he just bust your ass. You know what I'm saying? I love those types, John Wick types. They don't say too much, but you know what it is when you see them. They match up with anything in the league well. And now with the addition of John Wall, it takes pressure off of what Reggie Jackson has to do, who had an outstanding year last year, man. He definitely did, man. The Terrence man, Luke Kennard, the sniper, hell, he won the game here in DC last year. Lord Jesus, that's when I knew it was a wrap. That game, I was like, yep, let's get ready for Bucks. This don't happen to NBA teams, but 50, what was it, 50 down? Yeah. So look, they just have to stay healthy. That's all I'm looking at with them. Stay healthy. And just in long story short, I have them and the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals right now, if they stay healthy.
All right, I have nothing to add there. Yeah, I just need them to stay healthy, man. We've been robbed watching these two dudes play since they've been together pretty much. Can we get a year, please? Can we get a full year with both of them? Bother the hell out of people on the wing for my sanity. I would be up to watch all those games. And all right, so the Lakers. Gotta bring them up. Want to hear what you guys have to say about them. So I'm gonna mute my mic so I can stay mature. Lakers, don't all speak at once.
Oh man, Lord Jesus! All right, look, they're gonna be in a playoff mix. We just being real. They're gonna be in a playoff mix, man. But that age thing. Look, LeBron at this age, he's saving his energy for the offensive end. So it puts a lot more pressure on AD. Can he stay healthy? It's same kind of deal with Kawhi and PG. John Wall. Well, John Wall was healthy. He just ain't played last year. Same thing. Like they gotta stay healthy. And then the dynamic with Russ, is that healthy for the team? You don't know what's gonna happen with him, if he's gonna be there or the role they kind of have for him. He might have to come off the bench, which should be fine because it will put him. He should just accept it. It will put him back at his natural ability with the ball in his hands. Because that's the thing. The thing that hurt him. And honestly, to me, he got killed too much for it because I always felt like the best players should kind of be more to sacrifice more. You see what I'm saying? Sacrifice like Jordan did. He had a ball averaging a triple-double, but Pippen he murdered. And it feels like, you need some guys to you got to take you off the ball, so it's harder for the defense to focus on you. You know what I'm saying? And Pippen's fully capable of being a point forward. Gave him the ball. I was kind of expecting LeBron to do that a little bit more, but then again, you can't blame him because sometimes Russ he be in double agent mode. Like, you just call it what it is. And turnovers crazy, so you can't get mad. And then when they got off to the slow start, and the losses piling up, you got to stick to the plan. So I think him not having the ball in his hand just really messed up Russ because, hell, think about it. When was the last time he had the ball in his hands? UCLA with Darren Collins at that point? It's been a long time. So definitely not at the NBA level. So, and anytime you can average what do you average? 1877? Yeah, he averaged 1877, and people like he trash. 95% of the league would take those numbers in a heartbeat.
It's a career year for some folks.
For a lot of folks. So there you go, man. But I mean, look, they added some athleticism and wings. I love the addition of Patrick Bev because Patrick Bev, he gonna say what it is. Like, look, you gotta have uncomfortable conversations. Pat Bev has no problem having those conversations, man. So he either gonna get on their nerves or they gonna get fired up and play. They brought in a lot of young wings to try to get more athletic on the perimeter. You know what I'm saying? Like Troy Brown, who we saw here with the Wizards. They added Thomas Bryant inside. You know, you got Delonte Walker out from the Spurs. Dennis Schroeder is a pickup that no one's not quite. They haven't really been talking about. He fit well with LeBron. Kendrick Nunn, a boy. See if he's healthy. You know, Juan T. You know what he can do. Look, they should be a playoff team, but am I expecting them to make a championship run with the Clippers if they stay healthy? To mess with the Warriors, Memphis, who we ain't talked about, Dallas, Denver. Nah, dog. Nah. No. You know what I'm saying? So if look, they do that, LeBron better be averaging like 30 and a triple double, and AD better be on some. Look, man, some Tim Duncan KG combination ish for that to happen. And the reality is, at this stage in LeBron's career, it'd be hard for him to do that. And then AD is not going to sustain that. You know what I'm saying? So, they're going to be a playoff team, and they're going to get knocked down the first or second round.
On to another team who I think to say they bowed out the playoffs is almost too kind. Who were kicked out the playoffs, thrown out the playoffs by Luka and company. The Phoenix Suns, man. Finals run to getting curb stomped in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals.
Another team with some drama around them. You know, the situation with their owner, you know, definitely put a dark cloud over their season before it even began. But man, they got a DeAndre Ayton problem, you know, and that problem started last summer when they didn't give him his rookie max, you know, and ended up giving it to him anyway. They could have handled that business a long time ago, and now they got a possibly disgruntled player on their hands. You know, that's pretty, you know, valuable to their success. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. You know, team chemistry is super fragile, man. And, you know, with Aiden seemingly frustrated and then negative publicity, you know, I don't know how it plays out if they get off to a slow start. You know, they'll be a playoff team, but, you know, if they don't have the same cohesiveness, and, you know, we know what Devin Booker is capable of. You know, Chris Paul's getting up there in age, but, you know, he's still really effective. But yeah, man, I know they kicking themselves for blowing that 2-0 lead in the finals a couple years ago, you know. So yeah, man, that I don't know. You know, I think they're gonna be another one of the playoff teams. I don't think they have enough to compete for a title.
It's a wrap. They missed that window. If they was gonna do it, they had to do it in the last couple of years. Devin Booker's still gonna be an all-star for him. I'm not worried about him. Ayton with and I can't blame him how he feel, but you know, as a professional, you gotta get past that. Just what she is gonna do, but you can see it's still bothering him. You know, being a young player. You know, this is why you don't play with guys. You know what I'm saying? You take care of them when they've shown that they're worthy of it, and you keep them moving. And this can be counterproductive. Chris Paul, love him. That's 37, dog. And he's a small point guard. And it wasn't like he was a freak athlete to begin with, you know, since for like a Russ or somewhere. Yeah, as Father Time catches up, he's still pretty athletic, but maybe not once what he was. What happened to him is similar to what happened to Candace in the WNBA playoffs. It's just the Father Time hit him at the wrong time. And Luka was like, yeah, let's do it. You know, and he did it. It was bad, man. And the other thing you mentioned, Jay Crowder, the man of the trade, that hurts. They're not even as strong as they once were. Number Carl Bridges, and this gives Cam Johnson an opportunity to step up and fill that role and do what he need to do, man. But man, look, the league is real. It changes overnight. That's why when you get to that chance, you gotta take full advantage, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, you got You know, Torrey Craig came over late last year. It's Dario Saric. He was hooping before he tore his ACL. Can he be healthy and get back to form? You know, we have to wait and see. Landry Shamet, he's there now. Look, it's look. They added some veteran wings to try to balance that out, but are they strong enough to deal with them teams at the top now? So I got them being a playoff team, man. But yeah, they might. It's gonna be tough for them just to get out the first round, depending on who they draw.
Hey, man. Windows close quick. Things change from year to year. Look, out of the last team in this division, they're here, so we have to address them. Sacramento Kings.
Women, y'all my free sweepstakes, man. You gotta waste no time.
All right, cool. On to these to the last division in our preview, Southwest Division. Going from the Suns to the people who threw them out the club, to the Mavs.
Luca.
Man, look, this might be his MVP season, man. You know, he another one getting his body in tip top conditioning. You know, getting ready to rock. You know, Christian Wood, he's gonna be a nice pickup for them. Him and Luka in that pick and roll I'm just glad it ain't my job to try to defend that. But you know, prayers up to everybody whose job it is. Dinwiddie, man, he's going to be right going into the season. They'll have him there the whole year. You know, then they'll have Tim Hardaway Jr. back as well. You know, I think, yeah, man, I think by having those two guys fully healthy, you know, I don't think they're really going to feel losing Brunson like that. But yeah, they one of those teams that's knocking on the door and looking, you know, to crack that championship ceiling, man. And yeah, Luka, he just, you know, he came out his rookie year, say how easy the league was, and he just keep proving it year after year. So, man, yeah, I think he's going to be in that conversation, that MVP conversation.
Yeah, Dallas is right there at the top of the West. And then 5 teams that if they get out, you won't, you know what I'm saying, get out the West, you won't be shocked. You know, outside the addition of Christian Wood, they added JaVale McGee, 7-footer, lob threat. You know, because you understand they was extremely small last year, but the Luka Magic and obviously I can't. Jalen Brunson, who's with the Knicks, he balled his ass off, and Spencer Dinwiddie. Yeah, you Wizards fans, I ain't forget what y'all was saying, looking at me like I was crazy. Like when the muscles kick in from that, when he recovers, it's a wrap, and he kicked in. You know what I'm saying? So that's more time with them playing together to get more experience with each other to feed off one another. That's a problem. Now you got more size and athleticism on top of it, and the X factor for that team, Tim Hardaway Jr. is back. You see what I'm saying? Like they look, and you got the mastermind on the sidelines, Jason Kidd, man. He loves to have fun with lineups, and he has no problem trying different things to beat you. You see what I'm saying? So look, man, now you got an in shape, motivated Luka and stuff like that. With that, man, with those added weapons, it's gonna be tough to beat that dude, man. You know, it's the reason why I call him Larry Legend Jr., man, because he can beat you in a myriad of ways. So they're gonna be right there in the mix, man. Definitely. They stay healthy. They should be top 4 in the West for sure.
All right, on to the Houston Rockets.
Then they went Wembanyama sweepstakes, but not willingly. They just young. You know what I'm saying? Like they got talent. You know, they can't. Yeah, we saw them up close and personal when they came to DC and did what they did, man. Kevin Porter, they just young. That's the difference. With some of these other teams, just don't have the talent, but they definitely do. They definitely do, man. And you know, obviously, I love the perimeter, the youth on that side. Kevin Porter and Jalen Green. I think they only gonna get better. I'm not gonna say all-star level, man, but they should be one of those guys like knocking on the door where you see shows as the all-star break approaches. Like, will they be all-star? Their names gonna be on that board or should be on that board. I feel like they're that talented, man. Losing Christian Wood hurts. We're not gonna sit up here and act like it doesn't. But that boy Alperen, man, he got the tools, man. He got it. It's just him getting the minutes to show it, man. He got the tools, though. He a monster. He's super talented, man. So, and I love Kenyon Martin Jr. What he brings, just the hustle, the energy, the high flying ability, offensive rebounds, the way he can defend multiple positions, proven jumper. He just have to keep working on that. Like I said, man, they just got a bunch of youngins that's just trying to find their way in the league, and obviously the rookie Jabari Smith Jr. I don't know how I didn't mention him. 6'10" wing. You feel what I'm saying? The three, they just young, so they're heading in the right direction. They just got to develop and grow, and they're going to be an annoying team to beat because they're young, and teams gonna come in there. We can beat them, and then they're gonna be torching their ass. And it's gonna make them have to play hard. So I would not come into Houston or play against Houston and take them lightly. You know what I'm saying? This year's gonna be growing pains, but I think this year is gonna prepare them for next year where they're gonna try to make a run for the playoffs.
Ray, you want to add anything on Houston?
Yeah, man. I just envision what they'll look like in a couple of years, man. They're a super talented group. If they stay together, stay healthy, and continue to develop, in a couple of years' time, they not gonna be fun to play. They're not fun to play against now, but with a little more experience, man, it's gonna be problems.
All right, on to a team that talks a whole lot. The Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, rightfully so. Yeah, they should talk a lot, man. They right there. You know what I'm saying? They gotta learn how to win. They just ran into the Warriors, dog, and the Warriors that beat the best. You see what I'm saying? But look, Ja, he's gonna be in the MVP conversation, man. They got a mob. Desmond Bain and Ja, like I said, they're competing already for the best backcourt ranking. But they gotta get the rings because right now Steph and Clay got that on lock. Obviously, Brandon Clark, versatile, Swiss Army knife forward, do it all. Dylan Brooks, his confidence does not waver at all. He's the most confident player one of the most confident players I've ever seen. Um, that man can be over 100, and it's like, yo, I'm good. About to hit 5 in a row. It don't matter. Steven Adams, man. You need bigs, and he's one. He's a strong big, man. So he's somebody that can bang with the Jokers. If they get to the finals, deal with an Embiid and Giannis or some solo, and you won't trip off him just leaving them on the island with him. Zaire Williams, I love him. Xavier Tillman. He gives them good minutes off the bench. They have a lot of talent, man. I'm waiting on Jaren Jackson. That's who I'm waiting on from that team. That's the guy. He give him 20. If he averaging 20 and 10, man, it changes everything for them. Because now, right now, if Memphis play Golden State and then let's say they're healthy, all things equal, what big can you have that can match what Wiseman can bring? Even though he's young, the athleticism and stuff like that, you will hope it would be Jaren Jackson consistently. But he has a few more years in the league on him. So why not have him be that 20 and 10 guy and have him outplay Wiseman? You see what I'm saying? Or be able to match Anthony Davis if you run into the Lakers or something like that. Or if you run into the Clippers, he can outplay Zubac, dominate that matchup and stuff like that. Where it's like we got that on lock. Now the perimeter guys, that's what I'm saying. They waiting on him. We know what we're gonna get on the perimeter. So if he's healthy and he's doing what he's doing consistently, get 20 and 10 or whatever, hitting threes, blocking shots, and all that, man, they right there, dog. They definitely a top 4 in Western Conference. It ain't no question. They just gotta stay healthy, man. So yeah, they talk a lot, but the production warrants it. They ain't just talking for nothing. So they're gonna be right there again.
Yeah, nobody wants to see them, man, unless you like that top tier teams like the Clippers, Golden State, Denver, and I mean even those guys, they know it's gonna be a battle. Like Adele said, man, Memphis is they right there. Jaren Jackson, he's starting the season off injured, but he'll be there when it counts. So yeah, that's if he's able to maximize his potential, man, that I don't know, man, it changes a whole lot. Then of course they got Ja out there leading the pack. And I mean he's leading by example, and that's all you can ask for. They tough, they got youth, they got skill, they got size and depth. I mean they're going to be right there when it's all said and done.
Yeah, like you said, Carter, I think the biggest thing, like you said, with Jaren Jackson Jr., we saw a couple times in the playoffs. He had a couple big games in the playoffs against Golden State, and they didn't have an answer for Jaren Jackson Jr. A couple big games he had, he did whatever the hell he wanted in those games. And it was kind of, you know, thankfully for them, they got a couple guys can shoot the hell out the rock to make up for some of it, but they did not have an answer for that young man. And we also know Ja wasn't there, but the West. We know who lies atop the West. It's not sweet up top at all. On to New Orleans Pelicans, which we saw them make a run towards the end of last year after they had a trade. I think we've all seen, we've seen a lot of folks all of a sudden changing their physique coming into this year. We haven't seen Zion in a while on the court. Last time he was on the court, kid was very productive. However, physically looks a little bit different. We saw what the team did last year with the CJ version of the team, the steps BI took. What do you guys think it might look like if you inject Zion back into it?
If Zion healthy, they scary, man. They they gave Phoenix a scare in the first round last year. Add Zion to the mix of what they already have, they gonna be tough to deal with. Zion and Valanciunas, I don't think the other team will get a rebound. That's a lot to have to wrestle with down low, man. And then with BI continuing to improve, then they got McCollum steady hand there. They're gonna have him from jump this year. So yeah, man. Then they got a solid bench as well. Jose Alvarado, Devontae Graham, Larry Nance. They got pieces, man. They'll they gonna bloody somebody up in the playoffs, and it's gonna be a lot tougher than the team they play would like it to be. So yeah, man. If Zion is healthy, then they definitely not an easy out.
Yeah, I like where they at, man. They can easily, if Zion's healthy, have one of the best front lines in the whole NBA with Brandon Ingram, Zion, Valanciunas, dog. Like, that's a hell of a front line that most teams in the league, damn near all, would love to have right now. Then you got CJ, what he brings, and you just feel the other guys smart by committee, man. Obviously, Josh Hart's a big loss and whatnot, you know what I'm saying, in a sense, but Alvarado, what he brought last year with the energy and defense, you just need guys filling in with that. You know what I'm saying? Just coming in and doing the dirty work and filling in what they need to. And definitely keeping the standard up defensively where it allows guys like CJ and Zion, all those guys, even though Zion young, I'm pretty sure they don't want to put a lot of minutes on their body or whatnot, the way, especially with his style of play, bruising, impact type style, it allows them to rest. So when they get back in the game, they can just close them out. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, they're gonna be a handful, man. Because look, man, Valanciunas is a big boy in there, but he's skilled, he's tough, he's a rebounder. Zion, man, the way I'm reading reports and from training camp, man going ain't miss a shot in the whole damn scrimmage. Like, goddamn, like he been quiet, he been hearing all the noise. You know what I'm saying? So. I mean, y'all couldn't even deal with all the shapes on. I just hear shout out to DJ Meechy Meech. I just hear them videos popping up with the little robots. Zion destroys like that. I just hear them coming. It's gonna be, and I'm gonna enjoy every one of them, man. So it's it's gonna be fun, man. Like I expect them to make a lot of noise if he's healthy, but they need him to stay healthy, and I want him to stay healthy, man, because he's fun to watch, dog. He's fun to watch, man. So. If he stays healthy, man, the West, Lord, that's what I'm saying. The league is crazy right now. Like, the league crazy. So it's gonna be tough, man. The only thing with them is the other guard spot. Can they hold it down? Can they hold it down? Because that's what teams gonna try to pick on. I mean, look, no disrespect to CJ defensively, yeah. So they gonna pick on that backcourt. That's somebody want to strive up. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's the thing. It's like when CJ and them go to the bench, you get defensive lineups on the perimeter, you get defensive guard sets, but they may not score the best. So just pick your poison. But that front line can rumble with any front line in the league. Period.
Yeah, there's a nice little trend of these teams NBA not being able to handle some of these out of shape dudes, and those out of shape dudes typically starting to get in shape. Should be interesting. You mentioned a couple of them earlier, Ray. Talk about Luka, and he's had a fun summer. In shape, Luka looks, yeah. Joker. And yeah, Zion was only shooting like 68% from the field. Is the fat version, so should be fun. Last but not least, we got San Antonio, which they're kind of in the place. It's kind of weird, but San Antonio.
When Benyama sweepstakes was there. Pop making jokes like, yeah, I want to bet on us to win the championship. Yeah, you know, we know what it is. Oh, they didn't win. Look, it's Keldon Johnson, and they pretty much got in that sweepstakes when they traded Deontay Murray, Lonnie Walker and stuff. So they getting young with behind Keldon Johnson, and they just gonna, you know, see what it is from there, man. Look, when they calling Doug McDermott, they treating him like an old vet, like he 37. That just tells you what it is. Now, they going super young, and they in the sweepstakes. They trying to get that kid. You know what I'm saying? Like with the other teams. And look, don't laugh. For all the folks that see this, don't laugh. There will be other teams joining. Look, they're very optimistic right now. That record 2-12. Blow this shit up. You're gonna see scouts at Wembanyama games, all that. It's gonna be a whole lot of teams joining it. So they're not alone.
Nah, they're not. And again, respect to the teams who didn't even waste any time going straight to the sweepstakes. San Antonio, Utah have wasted no time. OKC, by default as well, they're just always around. They're in every sweepstakes. Per construction somehow. They'll go get stuff and it'll be like, no, they got too close to being productive. Back to the sweepstakes. But we appreciate you guys spending time with us, whether you guys spend time with us live or if you guys watch this back later. Took a little while, but we finished the NBA preview, and now we get ready to sit back, watch this season. It starts with a preseason game bright and early in 8 hours. We'll see you guys about, 10 hours from now, about 8 a.m. That game should be over around that time, 8 a.m., 8:30. So just in time for breakfast, we should be having Wizards Outlook. Look forward to talking to you guys then. Thanks for tuning in as always.